Chapter 2146. De Kuan. This isn't a place for you to behave atrociously. This is a place for regular meetings. Anyone can say whatever they want. Li Guang said, "What right do you have to control Su Yun's freedom of speech? Is he on the same level as me?" De Kuan said, "Who does he think he is? He's just a dog under you, Li Guang. He's not qualified to bark in front of me. Even if Su Yun isn't qualified, I should be the one to discipline him. It's not up to you, De Kuan, to speak. He's my man." Li Guang glared. De Kuan sneered, "Boss just said that the entire Hongdong society is a family. Then, your brother Guang's underling is also my underling. Why don't I have the right to teach him a lesson? You also know that the Hongdong society is a family." Fatty Tian was a little agitated. "We're a family, and you're playing this game with me. We're a family, and you're King harming my wife and child. We're a family, and you're attacking me." Fatty Tian was a little agitated. Li Guang got up and pressed on Fatty Tian's shoulder to make him sit down. The situation was still uncertain, and Wang Jinjin hadn't made a final conclusion. "You've already decided that it's me. There's no point in me saying anything." De Kuan said, "Fatty Huang, please don't splash dirty water on me with such righteous words when you have evidence, okay?" Although Fatty Tian really wanted to have a war of words with De Kuan, he could only listen to Li Guang and bear with it due to the current situation. "Boss, I think you still need to think about this calmly," Cheng Feng said lightly. "You're also clear about the situation. It's impossible to directly judge who's right or wrong." "Brother Feng, can't I judge?" Fatty Tian said, "The one who died is my wife, and the one who died is my child. How bad is De Kuan's nature? What's there to consider?" Li Guang said, "Don't be agitated. Brother Feng's words make sense. Boss does need to think about it calmly." In fact, the purpose of today's meeting was to let Wang Jinjin see the opinions of the people in the Hongdong society towards De Kuan. Obviously, everyone's spearhead towards De Kuan was very unified. No one stood out to speak up for De Kuan. Everyone was leaning towards Fatty Tian. As long as Wang Jinjin calmly thought about it, he would be able to understand the stakes. "Fatty Tian, don't be agitated. The club will definitely stand up for you when it's time for you to make a decision. Don't have any psychological burden or pressure." Wang Jinjin said, "Calm down." De Kuan was unhappy when he heard this. "Boss, I'm the one with the psychological burden and pressure now. Everyone suspects me and wants me to step down, right? Take a look at Hongdong Group's last month's harvest. Aside from Li Guang, who owns several of the richest streets in Kowloon, who else had a higher harvest than me? Some people can't even compare to me, right? They are all jealous of me and can't wait for me to die." "De Kuan, it's not your place to interrupt when boss is speaking," Cheng Feng said. "Brother Feng, I'm just fighting for myself." De Kuan said, "Look at the situation now. Someone from Fatty Tian's family died. Everyone is sad and helping him. Brother Guang even took this opportunity to squeeze me. Isn't it because my harvest is higher than his? He doesn't like me." "De Kuan, don't talk nonsense here." Li Guang stared and said, "Let me tell you, everyone knows what the situation is now. That's why no one will speak up for you." De Kuan was now fighting to the death for even the slightest bit of reason. Yes. They're all targeting me, they're all targeting me. Then, boss doesn't have to think about anything. Just shoot me now. That's so worry-free. I should have shot you to death right now. Give everyone an explanation." Fatty Tian was so agitated that he wanted to take out his gun again. "Give boss an explanation too." "What explanation do I have to give everyone?" De Kuan said. "Who do I, De Kuan, owe? Why do I have to give everyone an explanation?" "Fatty Tian, don't you just want me to give you an explanation? Your wife and child died because you're incapable. It has nothing to do with me at all." F***CKU. Fatty Tian immediately stood up. This time, he really couldn't take it anymore. He was going to shoot this bastard with a single shot. He wanted to let him have a taste of the bullet. Fortunately, Su Yun's eyes were sharp and his hands were fast. He immediately judged Fatty Tion's intention. He directly grabbed Fatty Tion's hand from behind. Once Fatty Tion fired, the entire venue would definitely be in chaos. Even if Fatty Tion killed De Kuan with one shot, he wouldn't be able to escape Wang Jinjin's punishment. If this shot didn't kill De Kuan, then he didn't have to think about avenging his wife and child. Because he also shot De Kuan, even if it was determined that De Kuan killed his wife and child, Wang Jinjin would find an equal punishment for this matter and punish each of them 50 times. No matter what, as long as Fatty Tion fired today, he wouldn't be able to afford it. A family of 3 in exchange for De Kuan's life? It definitely wasn't worth it. A family of 2 in exchange for De Kuan being shot? It definitely wasn't worth it. Therefore, what Fatty Tion had to do now was to stay calm. If he couldn't calm down, everything would be in vain. Instead, it would give De Kuan a chance to take advantage of the situation. What? You still want to fight? Don't you know where this is? De Kuan said, Is this how a family treats me, De Kuan? Come on, come and kill me. If you kill me today, then it's fratricidal. If you can't kill me, then don't blame me, De Kuan, for not giving face to boss and not being polite to you. Are you done? If you are, then sit down. Wang Jinjin was still calm and collected. Drink some water and moisten your throats. If you still want to make a ruckus, then go out and make a ruckus. Whoever doesn't make a ruckus until their throats are smoking is not allowed to come back. We will wait. Everyone will wait in the room. After hearing Wang Jinjin's words, De Kuan didn't say anything else. He was in the wrong, so it would definitely be beneficial for him if he didn't say anything now. If you're done, then don't affect everyone's minds anymore. Wang Jinjin said, Everyone has just had their morning tea. It should be quiet now. We didn't come here for the 2 of you to fight, right? Fatty Tion, you should say something too. I'm here for boss to give me justice. I can't tolerate the torture of my wife and child. Fatty Tion said agitatedly, Buried alive. Big brother, he buried my wife and child alive. How can I accept this calmly? Wang Jinjin nodded. I know, I can understand. No one can accept this, but didn't I promise you that I will give you an explanation? Yes. Fatty Tion was speechless. De Kuan. Wang Jinjin said, You know best whether you did it or not. I will investigate. Boss, you can investigate as you wish. De Kuan said. Although he said it confidently, only he knew that he was guilty. I'm not afraid. What nonsense are those words? A righteous man is not afraid of a crooked shadow, Wang Jinjin said. De Kuan gave a thumbs up. Yes, boss. That's what I meant. A righteous man is not afraid of a crooked shadow. That's it. I, De Kuan, am not afraid of an investigation. Stop bragging. Fatty Tion said, Let me tell you, De Kuan. I believe that boss will give me justice. When the time comes, I want to see how you can explain it. If boss can find out that I did it, there will be evidence of it. I, De Kuan, will kneel in front of you and let you cut me into pieces. De Kuan said, I'll say it like this, okay? Are you satisfied now? Fatty Tion clenched his teeth. I'll wait. I'll wait for that day. When that day comes, I'll cut you into pieces with my own hands. I'll let you have a taste of what it's like to live a life worse than death. Boss, look at how ruthless he is. Is he a family? De Kuan said, If Fatty Tion really cuts me, boss, I won't be able to help you collect debts in the future. I don't have any regrets, but I won't be able to work for you. That's my only regret. Wang Jinjin smiled faintly. All right, since the matter has been clarified and everyone has met, you can go back now. Chapter 2147. Although Wang Jinjin didn't give a direct answer today, many people saw what they wanted to see. No matter what, Wang Jinjin didn't favor De Kuan today. On this point, it gave them some psychological comfort. As soon as the order to dismiss the meeting was given, Dakuan was the first to stand up. Since there's nothing else, I'll leave first. I still have things to do. Boss, I'll definitely satisfy you with next month's harvest. After saying that, Dakuan left. The others also got up one after another. However, Wang Jinjin didn't leave. Everyone still had some concerns. In the past, Wang Jinjin would get up and leave first before they left. However, this time was different. This time, Dakuan actually stood up and left directly. Obviously, he didn't want to stay here for another minute. But even so, they still didn't know if they should leave before Wang Jinjin stood up and left. Although Wang Jinjin gave the order to dismiss the meeting, he didn't move. He still sat in his seat. There was no expression on his face. No one knew what he was thinking. Go, all of you go. I still want to sit. Wang Jinjin said, I'm really tired these few days outside. I don't want to move. All of you go. With Wang Jinjin's words, everyone got up and left one after another. Dakuan, who walked out of the regular meeting room, strode out of the clubhouse. As soon as he stepped out of the clubhouse, he vented his anger on the trash can at the door. He kicked the trash can so hard that it deformed. The security guard at the door of the clubhouse knew what kind of person Dakuan was, so he didn't dare to say anything. He could only let him vent his anger on the trash can. F***ck. Dakuan cursed angrily in his heart. A group of dogs, they actually wanted to use this opportunity to mess with him. They all wanted to see how he, Dakuan, would be unlucky in front of their boss. Good. No one hoped that he would be safe, especially when Wang Jinjin spoke. Every old bastard present pricked up their ears, waiting to hear their boss give him a death sentence. These bastards. They really needed to be taught a lesson. Dakuan felt that he was too nice to those old bastards. He was too polite. Otherwise, if he was more ruthless to these guys, they wouldn't have dared to hope that he would be unlucky today. They wouldn't have hit him when he was down. Especially that Cheng Feng. Who the F***ck do you think you are? What an old dog. What use do you have? A piece of trash. It didn't help the club much in terms of income, and they had to pay for it every month. Dakuan really didn't know why boss still kept these old things. What was the use of them? Did they really think that with their status in Jianghu, it would still be useful for them to speak up now? Useful? Useful my ass. It wasn't useful at all. Old things like them, useless trash, in the eyes of Dakuan, they were nothing. Who among the youngsters would care about the words of these old dogs? They were worthless in front of those newcomers. Now, all the newcomers knew that they only had one idol, and that was Dakuan. Yes, it was him, Dakuan. Only he, Dakuan, was their role model. He was the one they had to learn from in the future. Ruthless. Now he's in the underworld. It was all about ruthlessness. If you aren't ruthless, you won't be able to stand firm. What kind of bullshit was aptitude? What kind of bullsh**t status was that? As long as he could make people afraid of him, Dakuan's position in Jianghu would be unparalleled. This was what it meant to be in the pugilistic world. Everything else was bullshit. They were all worthless bullshit. Not to mention that bastard Cheng Feng, even he, Wang Jinjin, wouldn't be able to stand firm in a few years? What the club needed now was a leader like him, Dakuan. Only he, Dakuan, could lead the Hongdong club to the peak and walk towards glory. Only he, Dakuan, could make the club better and swallow up all the other clubs and gangs. In the future, he, Dakuan, would be able to cover the sky with one hand in Hong Kong and Macau. This was what Dakuan was thinking. As for Fatty Tian, he was just a small character in Dakuan's eyes. When he, Dakuan, could stand at the peak of life one day, everything would be fine. Even if he dug out the ashes of Fatty Tian's wife and son and buried them in the wilderness of Jiulong Mountain, Fatty Tian wouldn't dare to do anything to him. Wasn't he just relying on Wang Jinjin to support him now? Humph. Dakuan cursed in his heart. I want to see how many years Wang Jinjin can support you. De Kuan was fearless. He didn't believe that Wang Jinjin wouldn't consider his own interests. He, De Kuan, worked hard for the club and earned an uncountable amount of money every day. He didn't believe that Wang Jinjin would reject money. Now, as long as Wang Jinjin wanted to deal with De Kuan, it would be against money. That was why De Kuan dared to be so arrogant. He wasn't afraid of Fatty Tian causing any trouble. Even if Wang Jinjin could find out that it was De Kuan who did it, what could he do? At most, he could make him apologize in public and then punish him according to the club's rules. Even if he, De Kuan, didn't die, he could return everything to them in the end. After De Kuan left, the people in the meeting hall all left one after another. When everyone had left, Li Guangcai patted Fatty Tian, indicating that it was time for him to leave. Fatty Tian stood up absent-mindedly. "Boss, I beg you. You must seek justice for me." "I will." Wang Jinjin said, "I'm a principled person. You can rest assured about that." "Boss, then we'll leave first." Li Guang prepared to leave with Fatty Tian. Wang Jinjin raised his hand. Guang, you stay for a while." "Me?" Li Guang said. Then, he looked at Su Yun and said to Su Yun, "You take Brother Tian out and wait for me." "Yes." After Su Yun finished speaking, he left with Fatty Tian. Now, only Li Guang and Wang Jinjin were left in the meeting room. Wang Jinjin slowly extinguished his cigar and looked at Li Guang, but he didn't say anything. Li Guang said tentatively, "Boss, if you have any orders, just say it. I'll do it for you right away. If it's because of money, that's already been resolved. I've taken back the money in Chen Jianzhong's hands. You can rest assured about that." Wang Jinjin smiled. "I'm relieved that you're in charge of the money. I asked you to stay here because I want to talk to you about other things." "It's about De Kuan." Li Guang quickly understood what Wang Jinjin meant. "If it's about De Kuan, boss, there are many things that I don't know if I should say. I know your concerns. You're not the kind of person who likes to gossip behind people's backs." Wang Jinjin said, "You'd rather have a falling out with De Kuan in front of others than say something you shouldn't say behind De Kuan's back in front of me." Li Guang didn't deny it. He did mean that. "But today, I still want you to talk to me," Wang Jinjin said, "or, at least help me analyze De Kuan's problem. If it's about the matter of Fatty Tian's wife and son, I can say with certainty that it's De Kuan's doing." Li Guang said, "But there's no deep hatred between De Kuan and Fatty Tian. To put it bluntly, De Kuan is targeting me." Wang Jinjin nodded. "Fatty Tian is closer to me in the club. I'll help him deal with some things, and he'll help me with some things." Li Guang shook his head helplessly. "It's because of this that De Kuan attacked Fatty Tian's family. It's nothing more than a show of strength. You know this very well." Wang Jinjin said, "Now that there's no one else, I can talk to you openly. This is indeed the case. I also know very well that this matter must be done by De Kuan. It can only be done by De Kuan." Li Guang was stunned. "Boss, since you're sure that De Kuan did it, then you really should give us an explanation. After all, everyone, you know what I mean. Are you also wondering if I won't give our brothers an explanation because De Kuan's harvest is very good?" Wang Jinjin said, "You're also wondering if I'll turn a blind eye to what De Kuan does because of money, right?" Chapter 21:48. Li Guang didn't answer. He just sat there silently. That was indeed the case, but he didn't know if he should say it. "I can understand." Wang Jinjin said, "When I didn't punish De Kuan on the spot, I thought it through. Everyone would hesitate. However, I have my own considerations. I believe you can understand me." Li Guang raised his head and looked at Wang Jinjin. He didn't understand what Wang Jinjin meant. Why could he understand him? Speaking of which, Li Guang really couldn't understand Wang Jinjin's actions. After all, De Kuan really went overboard this time. "I'm afraid no one in the Hongdong society knows De Kuan better than you, right?" Wang Jinjin said again. Li Guang didn't deny this. Indeed, no one knew De Kuan better than him. He nodded. De Kuan has always treated me as a stumbling block in his career. Of course, I know him well. There's only one reason why he treats you as a stumbling block. Wang Jinjin said, "You can't possibly not understand this, right?" Ambition. Li Guang said, "I still can't see through De Kuan's ambition. How big and how greedy it is. His ambition is like a black hole with no end." Wang Jinjin agreed with Li Guang. "It's not just you. Even I can't see through his ambition. It's indeed a black hole that can never be seen through." "Boss, what do you mean?" Li Guang frowned and looked at Wang Jinjin. Could it be that Wang Jinjin couldn't tolerate De Kuan's ambition? What De Kuan was doing now really exceeded that tolerance level. Wang Jinjin nodded. "What I mean is what you think." Li Guang took a deep breath. Wang Jinjin's words were always like this, making it hard for you to guess what he was thinking. Wang Jinjin's shrewdness was too deep, and Li Guang could only take a gamble when faced with such a situation. "Boss, if De Kuan really dares to set his ambition on you one day, I'll definitely be the first to destroy him." Li Guang said, "Although De Kuan is bold enough, he should know who gave him what he has today." Wang Jinjin said, "De Kuan's ambition has already exceeded the scope of your imagination. Today we can see that from what he has shown. He's very guilty today. I do have a guilty conscience. However, his actions still tell everyone that Great Kuan is not afraid of anything." Wang Jinjin said, "Last time, he dared to bring a gun into the meeting room. This time, he dared to leave the meeting room before I even got up. What do all these signs mean?" "De Kuan is indeed becoming more and more unbridled," Li Guang said. Wang Jinjin smiled. "Not only is he unbridled, he doesn't even put me in his eyes now." Li Guang looked at Wang Jinjin and swallowed his saliva. He didn't know why Wang Jinjin was telling him all this. Wang Jinjin continued, "Not only does he look down on me, but he even dares to threaten me with the harvest. Guang, you should understand what he meant today, right? He's threatening me with the harvest, not showing off his harvest." Yes, De Kuan had indeed gone overboard today. He clearly wanted to use the harvest as his capital. However, Wang Jinjin didn't hear that. De Kuan was threatening Wang Jinjin. He was warning Wang Jinjin that if he dared to touch De Kuan, he might not be able to get De Kuan's harvest in the future. He doesn't even think about it. Is it really just because of his own ability that he was able to get the money so smoothly? Is it really just because he's ruthless enough that he can get everything done? Wang Jinjin said, "No, of course not. It's because of the Hongdong Society. No matter how ruthless De Kuan is, he still has to use the Hongdong Society's name to do things." Li Guang nodded. Yes, De Kuan really thinks too highly of himself. It's more than just important. Wang Jinjin said, "From what he said today, I can hear his disdain for Cheng Feng and the elders of the Hongdong Society. I know very well what De Kuan is thinking." Li Guang said, "He feels that many elders are just freeloaders." That's right. However, he didn't think that the entire Hongdong Society was built by me and the elders. Otherwise, how could De Kuan have such a good foundation and be able to live so well after just a few years? Wang Jinjin said. Li Guang realized that the most important thing today was that Wang Jinjin was angry. He could no longer tolerate De Kuan's bad habits. Since De Kuan is so arrogant and doesn't care about the elders, when the day comes when his wings are strong enough. Wang Jinjin took a deep breath. He will definitely not care about me, his boss. No matter how arrogant De Kuan is, he won't dare, Li Guang said. After all, he was promoted by boss. If he doesn't even understand this bit of kindness, then what's the point of being loyal? Wang Jinjin nodded. Li Guang's words hit the nail on the head. Speaking of loyalty, which one of you thinks De Kuan is loyal? Li Guang was startled. De Kuan was able to get to where he was today not because he was loyal, but because he was ruthless. Regardless of whether it was outsiders or his own people, he wouldn't let anyone who dared to go against him. There seemed to be no such thing as loyalty in his world. He could change his underlings at any time. As long as someone didn't do a good job and harmed his interests, he wouldn't care about loyalty. Dakuin was the kind of person who held supremacy. As long as Dakuin was around, others would have to bow down to him. Dakuin wanted this kind of feeling and walked this kind of path. "Boss, what do you need me to do for you?" Li Guang asked. If he wanted to deal with Dakuin, then he definitely wouldn't have any objections. He could start a war with Dakuin at any time. Wang Jinjin said, "I heard that Fatty Tian is going to hold a funeral tomorrow to send off his wife and son. Many of the big brothers and little brothers in the club have heard the news. They will attend the funeral tomorrow and mourn for him." Li Guang nodded. Yes. Fatty Tian decided to hold a big funeral. Only then can he feel more comfortable and comfort the souls of his wife and son in heaven. Wang Jinjin said, "After Fatty Tian made this decision, I believe that many of the main members of the society received an invitation from Dakuin." Dakuin's invitation? Li Guang was stunned. "He won't invite you because he knows that even if he tells you, you won't participate." Wang Jinjin said, "Dakuin is holding a birthday banquet tomorrow, saying that he wants to celebrate his birthday. Then, he sent invitations to many people." Li Guang frowned. He remembered that Dakuin held a birthday banquet last winter, but it was summer now. Could his birthday be held at any time? What does Dakuin mean by this? Li Guang said, "It's on purpose, right?" To be clear, Dakuin just wants to see how many people will choose to stand on his team. Wang Jinjin said, "Those who attend his birthday banquet will definitely stand on his side, and those who attend the funeral will all support you." "Boss, I don't dare." Li Guang said, "Those who attend the funeral will definitely support your decision." Li Guang, don't have that much face." Guang, you don't have to be humble anymore." Wang Jinjin said, "I know your ability and I know your character. I believe in you. Thank you for your trust, boss." Li Guang thought of another question. If no one attends Dakuin's birthday banquet, will Dakuin fly into a rage out of humiliation? Wang Jinjin nodded. Of course he will fly into a rage out of humiliation. At that time, he will know that no one in the entire society will support him. With Dakuin's personality, I believe that he will do anything, so I want to remind you. He is a mad dog. Li Guang said, "If he wants to cause trouble, I will definitely stabilize Hongdong society's reputation." "It's no longer a matter of reputation." Wang Jinjin said, "If he dares to rebel, he will rebel against me. You know what to do, right?" Chapter 2149. Li Guang didn't expect Wang Jinjin to make such a decision. It was completely out of his expectations. He didn't believe that Wang Jinjin really didn't care about his own interests. Of course, Wang Jinjin cared, but he cared more about whether his position would be shaken. He cared more about whether his future would be affected. "I want to let Dakuin know that even without him, Hongdong society is still the biggest society in Hong Kong and Macau." Wang Jinjin said, "He's not indispensable. Even if Hongdong society loses someone, it can still continue to operate. He's not as important as he thinks. Hongdong society would still operate without anyone." This sentence was both for Dakuin and Li Guang. Wang Jinjin was such a person. When it was time to be ruthless, he would do things ruthlessly. "Your brother has been in Hong Kong and Macau for a few days. How is he adapting?" Wang Jinjin said, "I heard that last time at Dakuin's place, it was all because of him. Otherwise, it's hard to say who would win between you and Dakuin." Li Guang didn't deny this fact. "No, if it wasn't for Su Yun that day, I would definitely have lost. Dakuin has already set up a trap and is just waiting for me to fall into it." "Then why do you still want to fall into it when you know it's a trap?" Wang Jinjin was puzzled. Li Guang said confidently, "Because I believe that Su Yun can help me. I know Su Yun's ability, so I'm not afraid of Dakuin's trap. Even if Dakuin set up a trap to provoke me, I'm not afraid of him. I have the ability to defeat him." "Guang, I like your confidence. Wang Jinjin said, It's good that you have this confidence. This time, I still hope to see Su Yun's performance. I'll give him a chance. What do you think? Li Guang understood Wang Jinjin's meaning. You want to give him the chance to deal with De Kuan? Of course. Wang Jinjin said, If he's the kind of talent you're talking about, wouldn't it be a waste of his talent to only stay by your side? Moreover, I also want to see if he has the courage to go to such extremes. If you don't even have this much courage, then you don't deserve to be the boss of the Hongdong society. Wang Jinjin had already made it very clear. As long as Su Yun could kill De Kuan, then De Kuan's position as the big brother would be his. Obviously, Wang Jinjin did this because he had to see Su Yun's hands stained with blood. Otherwise, he would not trust him. I understand, boss. I will pass on your message to Su Yun, Li Guang said. I believe that Su Yun has the ability to do this. That would be for the best. Wang Jinjin smiled and said, All right, I've said everything that needs to be said. I'll leave everything to you. I hope you can give me a satisfactory answer in the end. Yes, boss. Li Guang nodded his head vigorously. Go. Wang Jinjin said, Don't let Fatty Tian wait for you outside for too long. His mood is very unstable now. Let him prepare for tomorrow's funeral. At that time, justice will be served to him. Li Guang left. He believed that Fatty Tian was very satisfied with the result. Although there might be some unpleasant things at tomorrow's funeral, if Fatty Tian could get a satisfactory answer, Li Guang believed that everything would be worth it. Wang Jinjin had arranged all this for one reason. He would let them solve everything by themselves. He would not intervene in this matter. However, he believed that everyone in the Hongdong society could accept the final result. Fatty Tian's funeral for his wife and child was held as scheduled. Although many of the big brothers in the Hongdong society did not need to show up, due to the special nature of this matter, they came to the funeral to attend the memorial service. Compared to Fatty Tian's memorial service, the 20 tables of banquet prepared by De Kuan in the best hotel in Tsim Sha Tsui seemed much more deserted. There were more than 30 big brothers in the entire Hongdong society, but only 3 of them chose to attend De Kuan's birthday banquet. Excluding De Kuan's own people, the 3 big brothers and the underlings they brought added up to only 12 people. It was just enough to fill one table. De Kuan and a few of his capable subordinates added up couldn't even fill the second table. The deserted scene made De Kuan panic. After the panic in his heart, it was followed by embarrassment and anger. De Kuan never thought that he would have to face such a situation. There were so many people in the Hongdong society. He thought that there would be at least 10 big brothers who would support him, but the truth was, there was no such thing. 3 people, only 3 people. De Kuan did not know what he had done in the Hongdong society for so many years. Was this all he had? This was his capital in the Hongdong society. Moreover, none of these 3 people were big brothers from big forces. They were all at the level of Fatty Tian, just like trash. There was only one very simple reason why these 3 people would support him. It was because he, De Kuan, had helped and supported them in many things. They owed him, De Kuan, too much. At this time, they would feel bad if they didn't come out and stand by his side. De Kuan didn't know whether to laugh or cry, but it only flashed by. Then, he laughed wildly. Fine, since they didn't want to F** King come, then don't blame me, De Kuan, for not giving them any face. With so many empty tables, won't I have no face at all? Won't that be very ugly? De Kuan looked at the people around him unhappily. Do you all think that I, De Kuan, am an idiot? I prepared so many seats, but in the end, they didn't give me any face. Fine, since they don't give me any face, then I will think of a way to fight for my own face. After saying that, De Kuan suddenly rushed forward and flipped a table. Soon, almost all the tables in the hall were flipped over by him. He only left 2 tables, which were enough for the people now. There won't be any empty tables like this. Come, take a seat. De Kuan said, let's eat, let's eat. After eating, We will also send Fatty Tian's dead wife and children off and burn some paper money. Otherwise, they will cry and look for boss and say that I, De Kuan, don't know the rules. You want to talk about rules with me? Fine, then we will follow the rules properly. Brother Kuan, actually, let's take a step back. It won't be good for you to make a big deal out of this. After all, Fatty Tian belongs to the vulnerable group now. No matter what, this vulnerable group will always have an advantage, said someone who supported De Kuan. He could accept De Kuan's invitation to eat and not attend the funeral of Fatty Tian's family, but he couldn't go with De Kuan to cause trouble at Fatty Tian's funeral. The first reason made sense. After all, it was only Fatty Tian's family, not Fatty Tian himself. It was their freedom to go or not. Fatty Tian couldn't say anything, and Wang Jinjin couldn't say anything. But the second reason didn't make sense. It was too much to cause trouble at Fatty Tian's family's funeral. Therefore, he was trying to persuade De Kuan not to cause trouble for him. Someone was the first to speak, and the other two immediately followed to persuade De Kuan not to make the matter so intense. It really wouldn't be good for them at all. It would only bring them trouble, and there would be more trouble. If you are afraid of trouble, then get lost. The further the better, said De Kuan. At this point, I am already the center of attention. If you really support me, then don't waste so much nonsense on me. If you think that De Kuan can't do it, then get lost and rely on others. Brother Kuan, that's not what we mean. We are all thinking for you. You should really consider this matter carefully. Yes, Brother Kuan. We are not that kind of people. We are brothers. We need to help each other. We are all speaking from the bottom of our hearts. But honest advice is unpleasant to the ear. We can understand if you are uncomfortable hearing it, but think about it. We are really thinking for you. De Kuan slammed the table. Do you want me to flip this table? If you don't want to, then shut up and eat your meal. In a while, whether you come with me, stay here, or choose to go home, it's all your choice. I, De Kuan, won't argue with you. Chapter 2150. Brother Kuan, the boss has already spoken. If we don't know what's good for us, I'm afraid we won't get any support. You must stay calm at this time. Yes, De Kuan, you must stay calm. Now is not the time to be impulsive. One wrong step may cause everlasting regret. We must consider this matter carefully. The few of them still wanted to persuade De Kuan not to be impulsive. However, De Kuan couldn't care less now. He didn't want to listen to these guys wasting time in front of him. Then you guys take your time to chat and eat. We'll settle this later. The boss will really get angry. De Kuan, Hongdong Group is still following the rules. You can't be so stubborn. We're all doing this for your own good. If the boss really dared to touch me, he would have done it during the regular meeting. De Kuan disagreed. Doesn't he know how much I earn for him every month? How many old people in Hongdong Group have I risked my life to earn their pension? I don't believe he won't consider it. After saying that, De Kuan threw the wine glass in his hand. Today, he was going to take a look at the funeral that Fatty Tian had prepared for his wife and child. He wanted to see who the F***ck dared to touch him. Especially that Su Yun, a newcomer and a follower who had just followed Li Guang. He had embarrassed him time and time again. Let's go. De Kuan made up his mind and decided to set off immediately. He asked all his brothers to gather everyone, even those who hadn't graduated from school. He would pay for everyone. Today, De Kuan wanted to prove to the whole of Hong Kong and Macau that he, De Kuan, had the guts to be high and mighty in this place. Although De Kuan was full of confidence, the other brothers wouldn't pay for De Kuan's impulsiveness. They couldn't provoke Wang Jinjin's anger because of De Kuan's impulsiveness. If Wang Jinjin really got angry, De Kuan wouldn't have a good ending. Obviously, this decision was correct. De Kuan was now on a path of no return. Wang Jinjin had already lost his patience with De Kuan. He wanted someone who could make money for him, not someone who could threaten him with money. De Kuan dared to do this today, which meant that he wanted to shed all pretense of cordiality with Wang Jinjin. Who wouldn't want this face? It was a form of humiliation to Wang Jinjin. Fatty Tian's funeral was in full swing. Many big brothers of the society brought their underlings to support Fatty Tian. Their purpose was to let him handle the funeral in a dignified manner so that his family could rest in peace. Fatty Tian remembered all the people who came today. These people might not have come because of him, but because of Li Guang. But to Fatty Tian, these people were people he wanted to repay. This was because everyone present knew that as long as they came here, it meant that they weren't on the same side as De Kuan. This meant that they had offended De Kuan. De Kuan, this mad dog, had already harmed Fatty Tian's family. If these people still dared to offend De Kuan, it meant that Fatty Tian was indebted to them. Fatty Tian kept thanking all the brothers who came to bow and express their gratitude. Li Guang was in charge of everything for him so that he could express his gratitude to all the brothers who came here. Su Yun was arranged by Li Guang to be next to the morning hall. He kept an eye on Fatty Tian and waited for De Kuan to arrive. Li Guang had already told Su Yun about what happened yesterday. Wang Jinjin's intentions were also very clear. Now, Su Yun was really looking forward to De Kuan, this bastard, daring to come and cause trouble. If that happened, Su Yun would have a chance. Since Wang Jinjin had already spoken, Su Yun didn't care about killing De Kuan. A person like De Kuan should be punished by the law, and Su Yun was now going to treat himself as the law. He would represent the law to punish this cruel murderer. A demon who didn't even let a 5-year-old child go should die. Moreover, this was a good opportunity for Su Yun. It was a good opportunity for him to make a contribution. Killing De Kuan would quickly increase his position in the Hongdong society and make Su Yun famous in Hong Kong and Macau. This was the best opportunity for Su Yun to get close to Wang Jinjin. Su Yun would definitely not miss such an opportunity. The funeral was already halfway through, but they still hadn't seen De Kuan's shadow. Su Yun was a little impatient from waiting. Just as Su Yun was getting impatient, there was finally a commotion outside. De Kuan, what else do you want to do? Fatty Tian's family is already dead. Do you still want the dead to not be able to rest in peace? That's right, De Kuan. You're going too far. What do you want to do by bringing so many people here? Don't you know that you've already made the boss very angry? De Kuan, are you done? Take your people and leave immediately. Today's occasion isn't suitable for you. You'd better think of a way out before you do anything. This is also for your own good. When De Kuan brought so many people to the funeral, he was immediately stopped by a lot of people. Most of the older brothers who came to pay their respects saw De Kuan and tried to stop him. They really didn't want De Kuan to make a mess of things here. However, De Kuan didn't think so. He raised his hands and said, "How do I look like I'm here to cause trouble? Did I bring a knife or a gun? Fatty Tian's wife and child died. Only you are allowed to mourn, but I, De Kuan, can't come and bow. I, De Kuan, brought flowers. I'm also here to mourn." Since De Kuan had already said so, the people present really had no reason to stop him from entering. After all, in such a situation, everyone who came was a guest. The host wouldn't refuse to bow. Even if someone they didn't know came, they couldn't chase them out. Therefore, De Kuan's words made those who stopped him speechless. They were completely speechless. At this moment, Li Guang appeared. As the person in charge of this place today, everyone focused their attention on Li Guang when they saw him come over. The current situation still required Li Guang to make a decision. Li Guang walked in front of De Kuan and looked at him. He said calmly, "De Kuan, you should know very well what the morning hall is used for." "Brother Guang, do you not trust me that much? I'm just here to bow. Am I not sincere enough? Do you see, I brought flowers." De Kuan gestured for his subordinates to hand him the flowers. "Such a big bouquet. Isn't it enough to prove my sincerity?" Li Guang said, "Okay, I'll allow you to go in. But once you've done what you should do, come out immediately. Otherwise, what are you going to do to me? Brother Guang, I'm so scared. I'm just here to attend a funeral. You don't have to target me like this, right? De Kuan said. I won't do anything to you. But if you don't abide by the rules, I guarantee that you will regret it. Li Guang moved aside and said to De Kuan, Go ahead. Li Guang believed that Su Yun was probably already impatient inside. He thought to himself that since De Kuan was here, the real show had just begun. When Fatty Tian saw De Kuan appear at the funeral, he was still very emotional. However, he was already mentally prepared because Li Guang had repeatedly instructed him yesterday to control his emotions. Everything would be ended by Su Yun. Fatty Tian believed in Su Yun. He believed that Su Yun would definitely help him take revenge for his wife and child. Fatty Tian believed that everything would be fine. Therefore, when he saw De Kuan, he only turned his head away. Out of sight, out of mind. De Kuan walked to the front of the coffin and performed exaggeratedly. I am my sister-in-law. How could you be killed at such a young age? I really feel sorry for you. I really feel sorry for Brother Tian. What kind of person is so heartless that they didn't even let off such a young child? De Kuan's exaggerated performance made many people feel disgusted. However, De Kuan didn't think so at all. Instead, he felt that he was very good and had the potential to be an award-winning actor. You're leaving so early. What will Brother Tian do if he's left alone? However, sister-in-law, don't worry. I'll definitely help you worry about Brother Tian's matters. I'll help him find a good woman to continue burning incense for the Tian family. After all, the incense can't be cut off. De Kuan cried hypocritically. Otherwise, Brother Tian's family will die out. Then, your spirit in heaven won't be able to rest in peace, right? Chapter 21:51. De Kuan's acting skills were getting more and more exaggerated. Fatty Tian's family could no longer tolerate such an enemy being so impudent in front of their loved ones. Brother Tian, don't you think that I, De Kuan, am very kind? I've thought of everything for you, De Kuan said as he walked in front of Fatty Tian. Of course, Fatty Tian wouldn't bow to him. He didn't even look at him. His mind was filled with what Li Guang had said to him. Calm down, he had to calm down. De Kuan's farce had just begun. He actually called his subordinates to start his next move. Soon, a prostitute from a pheasant shop that De Kuan had spent money to find appeared at the scene. This woman was wearing heavy makeup. At first glance, one could tell that she was a prostitute. De Kuan pulled the woman in front of Fatty Tian. Brother Tian, do you see this? How about this? This is a woman that I've carefully selected for you. De Kuan's hands unceremoniously kneaded the woman's body. Big breasts and big buttocks. She can definitely give birth to a son for you. De Kuan had already acted out this farce to the extreme. He laughed and said, if Brother Tian likes it, let's just do it. Everyone present sighed. They didn't know what De Kuan was thinking. How could he do such a thing? Wasn't he afraid of retribution? It's said that there's no time like the present. Let's do it today. On such a joyous day, let's add to the joy. We'll hold the funeral and wedding together. Isn't my idea and creativity too great? De Kuan said. He was amused by his own wit. Ha ha ha, I'm really an artist. Brother Tian, don't you think so? Fatty Tian gritted his teeth and glared at De Kuan. If you want to make trouble, I'll play with you to the end. Today, I'll take your life as a sacrifice to my wife and child. Yo, don't make it sound so bloody. We're all businessmen. You can't make such a joke. De Kuan said, we can't see blood on such a day. That's inauspicious. That's the precursor to a bloody disaster. De Kuan, I've said it before. If you don't follow the rules, you'll have to bear the consequences. Li Guang also rushed over when he heard the commotion. He had already arranged for his brothers to stand on the same side as Li Guang. Although De Kuan had brought a lot of people with him this time, he couldn't stop so many people from going against him. De Kuan was startled. Brother Guang, let's just let our little conflict go. There's no need to cause trouble on such a good day, right? You're the one who's going to cause trouble. Li Guang said, "De Kuan, I won't let you off today." The reason why the others stood on Li Guangning's side was because with Li Guangning taking the lead, everything would be much simpler. They only needed to follow Li Guangning and Wang Jinjin's side. If there were any problems, Li Guangning would take care of it. Many people saw this as a good opportunity to get rid of De Kuan. Of course, they wouldn't miss it. Brother Guang, you have to think carefully before you do anything. I didn't do anything. Everything I did was out of goodwill. If you make a move, then it will be your fault. De Kuan said. When he saw so many people targeting him, he regretted coming here. Li Guang sneered. So what if it's my fault? What can you do to me? Do you think I'm afraid of you? De Kuan said, Boss just said that the brothers in the club are all family. Then, you can try to touch me. Su Yun. Li Guang said, I'll leave the rest to you. You can decide how to deal with it. Su Yun, who had been waiting for this opportunity, finally got the message to make a move. He smiled and walked up from the side, looking at De Kuan with a cold gaze. De Kuan glared at Su Yun. You don't have the right to stand in front of me and speak. He was afraid of Su Yun. He knew this guy's strength too well, but he didn't believe that this guy would dare to make a move on him. Last time at the club, Su Yun didn't dare to touch him at all. Therefore, he believed that this time, Su Yun wouldn't dare to touch him either. However, this time, De Kuan was wrong, very wrong. This time was different from last time. This time, Su Yun stood here waiting to deal with De Kuan. Brother De Kuan, the person who doesn't have the right to speak now is you. Su Yun said, I can give you a chance. Apologize to Brother Tian properly, kowtow a few times in front of sister-in-law and the child, and admit your mistakes honestly. Perhaps I can give you a quick death. What do you want? De Kuan's heart skipped a beat. What did this guy mean? You don't have much time. I'll give you 1 minute, Su Yun said. De Kuan glared at Li Guang. What do you mean? Li Guang, tell your men to scram. Who does he think he is? How dare he talk to me like this? Does Hongdong society still have rules? Hongdong society doesn't need a lackey to educate me, right? Li Guang just looked at De Kuan coldly without saying a word. He left everything today to Su Yun. 50 more seconds, Su Yun continued. Shut up. In a fit of anger, De Kuan raised his hand and slapped Su Yun. Su Yun didn't stand on ceremony with him. He grabbed De Kuan's wrist and mercilessly twisted it in the opposite direction. The bones in De Kuan's arm made a clear sound of breaking. De Kuan couldn't believe that Su Yun, who was just a lackey, actually dared to lay a hand on him. De Kuan, who had his arm broken, gritted his teeth and growled a few times. He angrily ordered his men to smash the funeral hall. But now, it wasn't up to him to decide. Although he brought a lot of men, they weren't as many as Li Guang and the other bosses present. Just as his men were about to give it a try, they were stopped by countless heads outside the funeral hall. The noisy crowd quietened down. No one knew what they should do. 30 more seconds. Su Yun continued, De Kuan, do you want a quick death or do you want me to play with you slowly? You still have a chance to choose. There's not much time left. Make good use of it. Bastard! De Kuan scolded. Do you know what the consequences are if you lay a hand on me? Offending your superiors. I will bury you alive according to the rules of the society. Su Yun ignored De Kuan. This guy dared to talk about burying him alive. He really didn't feel guilty at all. Wasn't he afraid that ghosts would come looking for him at night? 20 seconds. Su Yun only told De Kuan the countdown. De Kuan stared at his lackeys and roared, What are you waiting for? Go. Let's see who dares to move. Li Guang also roared, Today, even De Kuan can't protect himself. If anyone wants to be buried with him, then go ahead and let me see. Under Li Guang's lead, the lackeys were all excited and eager to give it a try. If anyone really stuck their head out at this time, they would definitely die a horrible death. In this situation, no one dared to easily stick their head out. Everyone saw De Kuen's current situation. The other party even dared to lay a hand on their big brother. Then the lackeys might really be killed. 10, 9, 8. Su Yun had already started the countdown. De Kuen's face was ferocious. He wasn't stupid enough to wait for death. He suddenly roared and rushed towards Fatty Tian, trying to control Fatty Tian as his trump card. However, how could Fatty Tian, who was already prepared, allow De Kuen to do as he pleased? When De Kuen pounced on him, Fatty Tian raised his leg and kicked De Kuen out fiercely. De Kuen was caught off guard by the kick and staggered a few steps back. 3, 2, 1. Su Yun smiled slightly, but this smile was filled with murderous intent. De Kuen, time is up. Your chance is gone. What I'm going to do next will depend on my personal preference. De Kuen immediately looked at Su Yun vigilantly and roared at Li Guang. Li Guang, you'd better tell your men to stop immediately. If boss knows that you dare to do this, he definitely won't forgive you. You don't have to worry about how I explain it to boss, Li Guang said. You should worry about yourself now. You've already missed the time to admit your mistake. Su Yun won't let you be comfortable. Chapter 2152. Su Yun made his move again. He stepped forward and grabbed De Kuen's collar. He easily lifted De Kuen's entire body up. Immediately after, a sharp dagger appeared in Su Yun's hand. There was a blood groove on the dagger. The sharpness of the blade sent chills down one's spine. Su Yun didn't give De Kuen a chance to continue speaking. He very happily stabbed the dagger into De Kuen's left rib. No one present expected this stab. The woman that De Kuen spent money to find was so scared that she sat on the ground. She only dared to put on an act at Fatty Tian's funeral because the other party was De Kuen. She believed that no one in Hong Kong or Macau would dare to do anything to De Kuen. Now, it seemed that this wasn't the case at all. She regretted her actions very much. She was afraid that the other party would stab her too. De Kuen screamed in pain. The blood flowed out along the blood groove of the dagger. Blood dyed the funeral hall red. Fatty Tian was so excited that his hands were trembling non-stop. Anchi, son, all of you are watching. Today, I will take revenge for the two of you. Fatty Tian said, I will use De Kuen's life to pay tribute to the two of you. Your souls in heaven must see clearly what will happen to this bastard who harmed you today. Su Yun began to bleed De Kuen. This was something that many people didn't expect. A few of the big brothers present admired the courage of this underling of Li Guang. He was really ruthless. He was much more ruthless than De Kuen. This stab is for you on behalf of sister-in-law. Su Yun. De Kuen, don't worry. I won't let you die so quickly. We have plenty of time to play slowly. I apologize. De Kuen struggled. He endured the pain and struggled. Let me go. I apologize. I will go and apologize to them. The time for apologizing has passed. Su Yun, it's too late to say anything now. The only thing you can do now is to let me slaughter you. Without waiting for De Kuen to speak, Su Yun stabbed De Kuen's right rib a second time. De Kuen let out another blood-curdling scream. This time, the pain was even more unbearable than the previous stab. This time, Su Yun had stabbed him while spinning. This saber is for you on behalf of your child. Su Yun said, even if you're in a gang, you have to be humane. You won't even let a 5-year-old go. De Kuen, you're inhumane. De Kuen was already sweating profusely from the pain. He finally realized that the other party was not joking with him. The other party wanted to take his life. Fear quickly filled De Kuen's mind. For the first time in so many years, De Kuen was truly afraid. He let go of his arrogance and pride and began to beg for mercy. De Kuen kept begging Su Yun for mercy, begging Su Yun to let him go, begging Su Yun to give him a chance, begging Su Yun to stop. He kept telling Su Yun that as long as Su Yun let him go, he would not pursue the matter and treat it as if nothing had happened. He would definitely not provoke Su Yun again. Dakuan, isn't it too late to say all this now? Su Yun said, are you still not willing to admit that you killed them? I admit it. I admit to everything. Dakuan said, if you let me go, I'll admit to everything. I killed them. Fatty Tian's wife and child were killed by me. I admit it, I admit to everything. Let me go. I'll tell you everything. Su Yun said, since you've admitted it, then there's even less reason for me to let you go. All the big brothers present have heard it. Dakuan has already admitted to his actions. I, Su Yun, did not force him to do this. He said it himself. I admitted it myself, I said it myself. Let me go. Let me go. Dakuan begged. Su Yun said, the Hongdong gang has its rules. As fellow disciples, you killed the family of a fellow disciple. This is something that the Hongdong gang absolutely cannot forgive. Since you've violated the rules, you have to do things according to the rules. After saying that, Su Yun suddenly pulled out a dagger and quickly pierced Dakuan's shoulder twice. Then, he threw Dakuan to the ground and without hesitation, pierced Dakuan's knees twice. Dakuan groaned in pain and became a cripple. Both his arms and legs were crippled by Su Yun. Dakuan was like a pile of mud, paralyzed on the ground and unable to get up. Fear made him speak incoherently. He wanted to beg Su Yun for mercy, but he did not know what to say. At this time, someone outside the door said that the boss of the Hongdong gang, Wang Jinjin, had arrived. He was also here to attend the funeral of Fatty Tian's family. Hearing this news, everyone present held their breaths again. Everyone wanted to see how things would change after Wang Jinjin appeared. And this news was undoubtedly a life-saving news for Dakuan. The crowd made a path and Wang Jinjin walked into the funeral hall with two people. Wang Jinjin, who saw this scene, did not have any expression. Boss! The crowd shouted in unison. Everyone's eyes were focused on Wang Jinjin. Dakuan screamed hysterically, Boss, save me! Boss! Save me quickly! Someone wants to kill me! Li Guang's men want to kill me. I've committed a crime. He wants to rebel. Wang Jinjin walked to Dakuan's side. Li Guang immediately ordered someone to bring a chair for Wang Jinjin. Wang Jinjin sat in front of Dakuan. He looked at Dakuan, who was in a pool of blood, and then looked at Su Yun. He thought to himself, this kid is really ruthless. He is indeed an outsider. Dakuan. Wang Jinjin looked at Dakuan and slowly said, you just admitted that you killed Fatty Tian's wife and son. I didn't. I didn't. Dakuan said, I was forced. I was forced. But I didn't hear anyone forcing you. Wang Jinjin said, since you have violated the rules, then I can't do anything about it. Dakuan, you brought this upon yourself. Boss. What do you mean? Dakuan was shocked. Why? Wang Jinjin shook his head helplessly. Dakuan, it's not that I don't want to protect you, but what you have done makes it impossible for me to protect you. You know very well what you have done. Rules are rules. Everyone has to abide by them. If I protect you, how am I going to answer to so many brothers in the Hongdong society? Dakuan looked at Wang Jinjin in disbelief. Boss, you want me to die? Of course not. You have done so many things for the society. How can I bear to let you die? Wang Jinjin said, you asked for it. You can't blame anyone else. I know. I finally know. Everything was arranged by you. Dakuan said, you want me to die. Otherwise, Li Guang wouldn't dare to let his men attack me. Am I right? Wang Jinjin said, don't be so agitated. If you have anything to say it slowly. You actually want me to die? Shock. Other than shock, there was still more shock. Dakuan couldn't accept this fact. I have done so many things for the society. You actually want me to die just because you say so? Wang Jinjin frowned and said, stop talking nonsense. Bastard. You used me to do things, but now you want me to die. De Kuen's eyes were bloodshot. Wang Jinjin, think about it. How many things have I done for the society? If you want me to die, I'll see who can hold it up. De Kuen's emotions swelled to a peak. He realized that there was no turning back. His death was tacitly approved by Wang Jinjin, so he had no chance of being saved. De Kuen, watch your mouth. Li Guang said angrily, how dare you scold boss? What do you want? I'm going to die soon. Who don't I dare to scold? De Kuen went all out. Good. Do you think I have no value? Am I right? Let me tell you, even if I become a ghost, I won't let you off. Wang Jinjin ignored the furious De Kuen. He wouldn't be calculative with a person who was about to die. De Kuen, the society will remember your contributions. You can leave in peace. It's a pity that I don't believe in ghosts and gods. So, I'm afraid I won't think of you in the future. You're so ruthless. De Kuen gritted his teeth. I'm not as ruthless as you, De Kuen. Wang Jinjin smiled and looked at Su Yun. Su Yun, this isn't the first time you've done something like this, right? Do it. Su Yun looked at Wang Jinjin and nodded. Then he went forward and slit De Kuen's neck. Blood spurted out onto Su Yun's body. When Su Yun stood up, his body was covered in blood. He looked very terrifying. De Kuen completely shut his mouth. His eyes were still staring at Wang Jinjin. His expression was that he couldn't believe that this was his end. Chapter 2153. Su Yun did it cleanly without any hesitation. He did not give De Kuen any chance at all. The moment De Kuen breathed his last, Fatty Tian almost jumped up in surprise. That moment was really satisfying. Su Yun did not go back on his word. Yesterday, he personally promised him that as long as there was a chance, he would definitely kill De Kuen to avenge his wife and son. Fatty Tian's eyes were filled with tears. He looked at the photo of his wife and son and was extremely emotional. He did not know what to say at this moment. Su Yun finished off De Kuen and looked at Wang Jinjin in front of him quietly. He was waiting for Wang Jinjin to give him an answer. Even if Hongdong society loses someone, it will still be Hongdong society. No one is an indispensable cog in the society. Wang Jinjin said, in the society, all of us are cogs that can drive the development and progress of the society. Everyone has an indispensable contribution to the society. Wang Jinjin was really good at using metaphors. Indeed, there were big and small cogs in a group. However, no matter how big a cog was, it was useless if it did not have the cooperation of a small cog. Every one of us is very important, but it does not mean that we are irreplaceable. Wang Jinjin said, De Kuen treated himself as a bearing, as an indispensable core. He was wrong, very wrong. He is just a gear that can be replaced, because even I am just a gear. Everyone held their breaths and waited for Wang Jinjin to announce something new. Just like what he said, anyone could be replaced. De Kuen's absence meant that someone had to step forward to replace it. Everyone knew this very well. Among the people present, the most suitable replacement was Su Yun. However, the one who was least qualified was still Su Yun. After all, Su Yun was only Li Guang's underling. Everyone was very clear that Li Guang's current sphere of influence was in Kowloon City. De Kuen's sphere of influence was close to Li Guang's, which was the Yao Jianwang district in the west. If Yao Jianwang district was handed over to Su Yun to manage, then the two most densely populated districts in Hong Kong and Macau would be occupied by them. In addition, Fatty Tian's Yellow Immortal District was located in the northeast of Jiolong City. Their alliance would become the first three-man alliance in Hong Kong and Macau. This way, Wang Jinjin's personal control of Wan Chai District and Li Guang's personal control of Wan Chai District would be facing each other across the sea. This arrangement was definitely a sign of Wang Jinjin's great trust towards Li Guang. Therefore, everyone present wanted to know if Su Yun could really accept De Kuen's territory. To them, this was a direction for their future development in the society. De Kuen did something that let down all the members and their families. I've already investigated this matter, so I have to give Fatty Tian justice. Wang Jinjin said, "This can be considered as an explanation to everyone. It's also a warning to everyone that no matter what, don't harm other people's families. I definitely won't tolerate such things." Wang Jinjin's solution was indeed more convincing. At the very least, such a solution was acceptable to everyone. Good, very good. Very good. Wang Jinjin continued to announce, "Today's matter was resolved by Su Yun. Everyone has seen his performance. As for the rest, I don't know if I should say anything else. Now, there's a very important issue to announce, but this is the funeral of Fatty Tian's family after all. It's not suitable for me to disturb for so long. Wait until tomorrow, we'll talk about it at the regular meeting." Although these words didn't directly say anything, everyone knew that the new leader would be announced tomorrow. Fatty Tian was really grateful to Wang Jinjin for making the decision for him. Now, he didn't care about anything. Although the funeral was a mess, De Kuan was dead. This was the most important thing. Guang, arrange for someone to clean up the scene. Everyone else, go outside and find a way to quickly dismiss the people brought by De Kuan. Warn those gangsters who haven't joined Hongdong society to be careful when doing things. Wang Jinjin arranged. After that, he walked in front of Su Yun and patted Su Yun's shoulder. "Well done. I believe that you're a person who can shoulder the burden. However, with today's matter, there are many eyes. I'm worried that the police will find trouble with you." "Boss, don't worry. I can handle this small matter myself." Su Yun nodded and said, "I won't reveal any flaws to the police." "Very good. You have courage." Wang Jinjin said, "I didn't misjudge you. Guang also didn't misjudge you. As long as you do well in the future, I will let you get everything you want." Su Yun nodded, "Thank you, boss." Wang Jinjin patted Fatty Tian's shoulder again. "I can only do so much. Your family's revenge has been avenged, but the dead can't be brought back to life. My condolences. As long as De Kuan is dead, I believe that my wife and child's soul in heaven will be able to rest in peace." Fatty Tian said, "Boss, thank you for making the decision for me. I, Fatty Tian, swear that I will be loyal to you for the rest of my life. I will be loyal to the society for the rest of my life. If I have any evil thoughts, may I be struck by lightning and die a horrible death. I know that you are loyal. Well, continue with your work." Wang Jinjin said, "I will also bow to the deceased to show my sincerity." Fatty Tian was very grateful to Wang Jinjin for going through the procedure. Fatty Tian really didn't expect Wang Jinjin to consider and care about his thoughts so much. This matter made Fatty Tian feel that he was still very important in Hongdong society. After Wang Jinjin left, De Kuan's side was also cleaned up. It was as if nothing had happened. The funeral continued as usual. Everything that happened today was like a dream for Fatty Tian. He had avenged his family, and his wife and child had left in glory. Everything was quite smooth. After the matters during the day were over, Su Yun could finally go home and rest for a while. However, what he didn't expect was that after he drove back to the apartment, as soon as he stopped the car and opened the door and walked out, many plainclothes policemen with pistols in their hands came out from behind a few cars in the parking lot. "Police! Don't move! Raise your hands! Quick! Raise your hands! Cooperate with our law enforcement!" Su Yun slowly raised his hands above his head. Suddenly, two guys rushed forward and handcuffed his hands behind his back. "Police comrade, can I ask what's the situation?" Su Yun said, "Did you arrest the wrong person? I am a good citizen." After all, Su Yun was undercover. How could he be arrested by the Hong Kong and Macau police? This was too exaggerated. "You better not talk now. We will make you convinced. You are suspected of an intentional murder case in Huangdaxian district. Now, everything you say will be treated as a confession in court." Su Yun was helpless. No wonder Wang Jinjin reminded him. There were too many people. He had just killed De Kuan, and the police were already targeting him. Police comrade, you have to pay attention to evidence. If you arrest people without evidence, be careful that I will file a complaint against you. Go ahead and file a complaint. My police number is 9527. Don't talk nonsense with him. Take him back. Interrogate him properly. I think the people from Hongdong society are going to be arrogant again. Su Yun didn't know whether to laugh or cry. He had just joined Hongdong society, okay? De Kuan buried 2 people alive in one night. Every day, no one arrested him. Su Yun thought that the police in Hong Kong and Macau grew up eating air and didn't care about the society at all. But today, he had just killed De Kuan, and he was caught red-handed in front of his own house. It seemed that the situation wasn't optimistic. I will cooperate. Don't be rough, okay? It hurts. Su Yun said, look at my arm. It's swollen because of you. Stop talking nonsense. Take him away. Just like that, Su Yun was taken to the police station. Everything happened so suddenly that he didn't even have a chance to make a phone call. Soon, under the escort of the police car, Su Yun saw what the police station in Hong Kong and Macau looked like for the first time. It was similar to the mainland, but the interrogation room was indeed bigger than the mainland's, and the chairs were more comfortable. Of course, there were also disadvantages. For example, the lights were more dazzling than the mainland's. Chapter 2154. Su Yun was left in the interrogation room and waited for more than half an hour. No one appeared in front of him. After he kicked the table angrily, 2 people finally walked in. Su Yun knew that whatever he was doing inside, there would be people outside who could see. You'd better behave yourself. This is the police station, not your gang. Show me some respect. The person scolded Su Yun as he walked to the table and slammed the things in his hands on the table. The other person didn't speak. He walked in front of Su Yun and looked at Su Yun from head to toe. He said to Su Yun in a deep voice, sit down. If I don't sit down, are you going to hit me? Su Yun, Hong Kong and Macau follow the law. It's also a crime for the police to hit people. You have to think carefully. If you wrong me today, I will definitely sue you after I get out. Stop talking nonsense. You don't have the right to speak here. Answer whatever I ask you. The first person picked up a pen and opened the information to make a record. The other person held up the spotlight and let the light shine directly on Su Yun's face. The strong light made it impossible for Su Yun to open his eyes. Moreover, the light source was hot. Soon, Su Yun came out covered in sweat. The person with the pen wrote a few lines. After he was ready, he asked, say it. Name, age, what do you do? Since you were able to capture me in that place, I don't believe you don't know my name and what I do for a living, Su Yun said. Please, ask something meaningful. I'm very hot right now, so I'll cooperate with you. Okay, you said it. You will cooperate with us. The policeman with the pen said, then tell us why you killed De Kuan. Why would I kill De Kuan? Su Yun, who said I killed De Kuan? Police comrade, you can't say that. Can you lower the light? I'm cooperating. If you shine on me like this, it's hard for me to cooperate. Another policeman pressed down the spotlight on the table. I'll satisfy your request. Now cooperate well and don't play tricks. Yes, tell us honestly. Otherwise, you'll get it. The policeman with the pen said again, speak. Why? Can I have a cigarette? Su Yun, I've been here for more than half an hour. My mind is in a mess. Can I have a cigarette to calm down? The policeman with the pen said impatiently, do you think you're shooting a movie? You want a cigarette in the interrogation room? Let me tell you, even if your boss Wang Jinjin here, he wouldn't receive such treatment. Not to mention you. Brother, you can't speak carelessly. If Wang Jinjin hears this, he might really kill your entire family. Su Yun said, don't speak carelessly. Trouble comes from the mouth. Are you threatening me? The 2 policemen were impatient. The glaring spotlight shone directly on Su Yun's face again. Su Yun quickly closed his eyes. Who the hell designed this light? Even if he closed his eyes and was shown on for a few minutes, he would probably feel blind if he looked at anything else. Okay. I'll cooperate. The light was moved away again. Su Yun carefully opened his eyes. You're really resourceful. If I'm blinded by your light, will you be charged with intentional injury? You want to charge us? Stop dreaming. The policeman with the spotlight said, We're giving you your last chance. If you still want to change the topic, don't blame us for not giving you a chance. Remember, don't expect us to move the light away from your face next time. Okay. I won't change the topic. I'll cooperate. Su Yun, you're asking me about Dakuan? I'll confess everything. The person with the fountain pen immediately prepared to record it. Su Yun cleared his throat and said, It's like this. Dakuan has done many evil things. He killed Fatty Tian's wife and son in Huangdaxian district. Because the police were incompetent, they didn't investigate this matter. Hence, Dakuan bullied others and came to Fatty Tian's funeral to continue causing trouble. When Su Yun said that the police were incompetent, the two of them really wanted to go up and slap Su Yun. However, he wasn't wrong. Regarding Fatty Tian's wife and son being buried alive, the police indeed didn't find any meaningful evidence. It didn't play any role at all. Hence, Dakuan's actions caused public outrage at the funeral. Many people were angry. Su Yun, but Dakuan was fearless. The scene was chaotic. I don't know who did it, but Dakuan. It was obviously you who did it. The policeman with the fountain pen slammed the table and stood up. You still refuse to admit it. Su Yun, it's not that I don't want to admit it. Police comrade, think about it. I'm not Fatty Tian's subordinate in Huangdaxian district. I'm from Jiolong district. I'm under Brother Guang. That's a personal grudge between Fatty Tian and Dakuan. Since when was it my turn to intervene? Su Yun's words weren't unreasonable. The police were very clear about the hierarchy of the entire Hongdong society. As a subordinate, Su Yun probably didn't dare to speak or act recklessly. It's not your turn to intervene, but you might be the one who carried it out. The one who carried it out should also be Fatty Tian's subordinate. Big brother, how many times do you want me to say it? I'm Brother Guang's subordinate. Su Yun, since you can arrest me, you must have investigated me. I have nothing to hide. Li Guang. This guy was Li Guang's subordinate. Then, Li Guang was the one who asked Su Yun to do this. But Wang Jinjin was there at that time. The boss of Hongdong society was also there. Li Guang probably wasn't in a position to give orders, right? Then, how was this matter to be explained? But the eyewitness was very certain that Dakuan was killed by this guy called Su Yun. Although the eyewitness was very confident and certain, the police did have some objections. Would Wang Jinjin be treated like heir? After all, Dakuan was Wang Jinjin's right-hand man. This was a fact that everyone knew. Big brothers, I've really been wronged. Su Yun, someone must have done this and wanted to find a scapegoat. Look at me. I'm a new face, a newcomer. They must want to bully me. You must get to the bottom of this matter. Su Yun's words made the two people in charge of the interrogation not believe that Su Yun was the murderer. It was too inconsistent. Su Yun neither had the motive nor the right to kill. In many ways, it showed that Su Yun was not a reasonable candidate to do this. Please use your brains before you do anything. Su Yun, it's really not easy for us underlings to do things. We're often used by people with motives. I'm also very wronged. The two of them looked at each other. They were originally going to interrogate Su Yun, but now, after hearing what Su Yun said, they really didn't know if they had arrested the wrong person. At this moment, someone knocked on the door and whispered to the two of them. The two of them nodded and hurriedly got up and left. They didn't tell Su Yun what they were going to do. Hey. If you can't be sure that I did it, then let me go. Su Yun, you can't just detain me without any evidence, right? But no one paid attention to Su Yun at all. Su Yun was really quite helpless. Are you Hong Kong and Macau police so unorganized? Su Yun was really upset. If it weren't for the fear of causing trouble for himself, Su Yun would have found a way to unlock the handcuffs and escape. But this Hong Kong and Macau area was so small. Su Yun really didn't dare to make things too high profile. If he escaped and became the most wanted criminal in Hong Kong and Macau, then he would be further and further away from the task he wanted to complete this time. Su Yun was really helpless. There were too many things here that restricted his actions. If it weren't for the need to worry about this and that, Su Yun would have done things in his own way. Chapter 2155. Just as Su Yun was racking his brain to think of a foolproof plan, a person appeared that made Su Yun's mood instantly relax. It was Yang Qi, the beautiful woman who brought Su Yun from Beijing to Hong Kong and Macau, a member of the Hong Kong and Macau Special Operations Team. Yang Qi's arrival made Su Yun feel at ease. With their cooperation, Su Yun wouldn't have so much trouble. You're finally here, otherwise I would have been tortured to death by your people. Su Yun, this light is too hot, it's too dazzling. Yang Qi smiled and stepped forward to turn off the light. You really do things beyond our expectations, your movements are too big, it's too surprising. Can you also unlock these handcuffs for me? Su Yun, I'm obviously one of your own, but I still have to endure this here. You didn't see it, it was too harsh when interrogating me. There's no other way, only our special operations team knows your identity, so you can only be wronged. Yang Qi said, you can wear the handcuffs for a while. You're already here, and you can't let me go? Su Yun, no way, then your power is too small, right? It's not that we can't let you go, but if we let you go so easily, Wang Jinjin will definitely be suspicious. Yang Qi said, you were taken away by the police. It's impossible for Wang Jinjin to not know about this matter. Now he's also biding his time. Su Yun smiled bitterly. So, you're going to treat me like a real prisoner now? Yes. Your identity is limited. Yang Qi said, but you can rest assured, we won't really hurt you, we just want you to suffer here for a while. I really admire you. Su Yun shook his head helplessly, but what Yang Qi said also made sense. He was just taken away by the police and released. It would be strange if Wang Jinjin didn't suspect him. I should be saying that to you. Yang Qi said, De Kuan's reputation in Hong Kong and Macau has always been particularly bad. He has done too many outrageous things, but it's very difficult for us to get hold of his weakness. Even if there is conclusive evidence, he can always find someone to take the blame for him. This time, you directly eliminated him. You have really made a huge contribution to the people of Hong Kong and Macau. Su Yun, this is the fastest way for me to gain a foothold in Hong Kong society, so I didn't ask for your permission or communicate with you. It's fine as long as you don't mind. Of course we don't mind. These big brothers of the Hong Kong society were all involved in murder cases. Especially De Kuan. Yang Qi said, you are not only representing the laws of Hong Kong and Macau, but also the laws of Huaxia. You have the right to make your own judgment. Did Senior Leader Wan tell you that? Su Yun asked. Yang Qi nodded, yes, we promised Senior Leader Wan that if you come here with us, you have the right to exercise the legal sanctions of the country, so we tacitly approve and support everything you do. Su Yun nodded. That's good. Don't convict me of another crime because of what I did. Otherwise, I will lose more than I gain. I won't. Yang Qi smiled. Your performance is really very good. According to our reliable information, Wang Jinjin is now paying attention to you. As long as you continue to do the right things for Hong Kong society, he will continue to trust you and value you. Su Yun, Wang Jinjin left a few days ago. Is it related to the transaction of the Ebola virus weapons? Have you investigated this clearly? Yang Qi's expression turned serious. Yes, Wang Jinjin's departure from Hong Kong and Macau a few days ago has something to do with the Ebola virus weapon. Our investigation is not very clear, but one thing is certain. The matter is imminent, and you don't have much time left. Then why did your people capture me and bring me here? Su Yun said, there's not much time left. How can I get out now? Wait for Wang Jinjin to arrange for someone to bail you out. Yang Qi said, if Wang Jinjin really trusts you, he will not let you stay in there for too long. You have to hold on. Are you really going to lock me up? Su Yun was stunned. It's just a temporary detention. Yang Qi said, there is no other way. We can't let Wang Jinjin have any suspicions about you. Don't worry, Wang Jinjin has Li Guang. He will think of a way. You won't stay in there for too long. Su Yun knew that he had no other choice. Forget it, that's it then. I'll wait. If I have to suffer for a while longer, then so be it. It won't be long. Yang Qi said, I came to see you today because I hope you can hold on. Now that you are on the right track to success, we will definitely fully cooperate and support your work. Then can I make a request? Su Yun, when you detain me, can you prepare a single room for me? Yang Qi shook his head helplessly. I'm afraid I can't promise you that. Any special treatment for you will make Wang Jinjin suspicious. Wang Jinjin is a suspicious person, so I can only wrong you for now. Su Yun was stunned. Then, are you really going to lock me up with those real criminals? It's temporary. Yang Qi said. Okay, I know. Su Yun said. At least he was mentally prepared. Hong Kong and Macau were different from mainland China. They had detention centers and so on. Hong Kong and Macau would directly detain people in prison. Even if it was temporary, Su Yun would have to eat prison food for a few days. Yang Qi said embarrassedly, we have to leave tonight. They will send you to the prison in Jiulong district. This is really sudden. But still, thank you for informing me, so that I can be mentally prepared. Su Yun, don't worry, I will fully cooperate with the Hong Kong and Macau police, but you'd better move quickly. If the Ebola virus weapon deal is delayed, then there is no point for me to come here under cover. Yang Qi said seriously, I will do my best. After Yang Qi left, Su Yun was taken to a car by two people and sent directly to the prison in Jiulong district. Su Yun had only been in Hong Kong and Macau for a short week, and he had experienced so many things that it was difficult for him to digest. The news that Su Yun was arrested by the police was quickly learned by Wang Jinjin and Li Guang. Li Guang immediately contacted Wang Jinjin and asked him how to deal with this matter. Li Guang's meaning was also very clear. He would never allow anything to happen to Su Yun. He must protect him. Wang Jinjin's attitude was much calmer. He told Li Guang not to worry and to wait for the police's next move. After all, it didn't matter if the police arrested someone. Before they got conclusive evidence, as long as Su Yun refused to admit it, there wouldn't be any problems. It had to be said that Wang Jinjin was very shrewd. After Su Yun was arrested, it was impossible for him to act immediately. He still had to see how the police dealt with Su Yun. If there was anything suspicious, Wang Jinjin would treat it with caution. After all, the Hong Kong and Macau police had infiltrated the Hongdong society many times over the years, trying to collect evidence of his crimes. Therefore, the older Wang Jinjin lived, the more cautious he became. The longer he lived, the more careful he became. Su Yun was a talent, and Wang Jinjin appreciated him very much. However, before he put Su Yun in an important position, he must first figure out whether this talent could really be used by him. If he couldn't really be used by him, Wang Jinjin wouldn't hesitate to destroy him. If he couldn't get something, no one else could. If he couldn't get a talent, the Hong Kong and Macau police couldn't get it either. This was Wang Jinjin's style and means of dealing with people. For so many years, the Hong Kong and Macau police couldn't do anything to him because he was cautious and careful enough. Li Guang knew that Wang Jinjin wouldn't change his decision easily. He could only let Su Yun suffer for 2 days. When Wang Jinjin saw the matter clearly, it wouldn't be too late to make a plan. After all, this was related to the mission of finding the Ebola virus weapon. No one dared to have any mistakes. They would never let a little thing ruin the whole plan. The more troublesome Su Yun's situation was, the better it might be for the final mission. There was a saying that it was a blessing in disguise. Perhaps Su Yun needed to lose his horse now to completely gain Wang Jinjin's trust. Chapter 2156. By the time Su Yun was brought to the Kowloon City District Prison, it was already midnight. At this time, the lights in all the cells had been turned off. Different criminals were locked up in different cells, and each cell was equipped with a standard of 12 people. Most of these people were locked up because they had committed crimes of intentional assault. Su Yun was brought to a cell that currently only housed 10 criminals. The prison guard was not as polite to Su Yun as Yong Qi. He dragged and dragged Su Yun in and turned on the lights in the cell. The lights were all controlled, so when they were turned on, the prisoners who were resting with their eyes closed were immediately awakened. This time, the whole cell was filled with groans and groans. Everyone was very dissatisfied with what they saw. "Shut up!" The prison guard scolded angrily. "If you talk nonsense again, I'll turn on the lights for the whole night. I'll let you sleep. All you know is to sleep." The prison guard's scolding made many people even more dissatisfied. Several of them stuck their heads out of the cell's iron bars, trying to see what was going on. When they saw that the prison guard had brought a newcomer, they were even more dissatisfied and pointed their spears at Su Yun. Curses rose and fell one after another, all of them pointing at Su Yun. They disliked Su Yun for coming here in the middle of the night, disturbing their rest, and seriously affecting their mood and emotions. Su Yun ignored the curses of those people and was quickly brought to the door of the cell he was going to stay in by the prison guard. "Wake up, wake up. I've brought you a new friend." The prison guard smashed the iron bars with a stun baton, causing several people in the cell to curse. The prisoners who had already fallen asleep in the cell were even more angry, and they all stared fiercely at Su Yun. After everyone in the prison saw that Su Yun was pushed into the cell, all of their sleepiness disappeared, and they all got up gloatingly. That's right, the one living in that cell was their prison tyrant. In this place, there was no one who wasn't afraid of the prison tyrant Giant Chong. The prison tyrant Giant Chong was tall and big, which was why he was called that. The lumps on his body were even more frightening. Because Giant Chong used to fight in the underworld before he was sent to prison, he was agile and powerful. He was not someone that ordinary prisoners could afford to offend. In today's society, the strong preyed on the weak even in the sunny places outside. Not to mention the dark places behind the sun, the prison was a world where the strong preyed on the weak. Whoever had the harder fist was the boss. Whoever had a harder fist would be able to control the entire prison. Whoever had a harder fist would be able to sleep on the best bed. Ju Chong was obviously the one with the hardest fists in the entire prison, so he had always lived in the cell with the fewest people. He ate the most food every day. When he woke up in the morning, someone would wipe his face and shave his beard, and at night, someone would give him a foot massage. As a prison bully, Giant Chong's life was quite enviable. Many free people outside the prison couldn't enjoy his life. The prison guard pushed Su Yun into the cell and locked the cell door with a loud bang. Then, he quickly left. He didn't turn off the light, because he knew that he would definitely come back in a while. Every time a new person came to the prison, these guys would make him feel uneasy. Ju Chong's cell increased from 8 people to 11, so he knew that he would soon be able to change to a new cell. As long as a cell was full of 12 people, Ju Chong would be able to get a new cell when the new person came. This was the treatment of a prison bully, and the prison guard also tacitly agreed with this situation. Ju Chong, today we sent you a pretty boy, ha ha ha, today you have a good luck with women. When the prison guard left, the people in the other cells couldn't wait to roar. Su Yun cursed in his heart. F***ck, these guys are really annoying. Can other people's pain really become the source of their happiness? All the people in the cell looked at Su Yun. There were 12 beds, and Ju Chong occupied 3. Even if Su Yun didn't come, there were still people who didn't have a place to sleep. Now that Su Yun came, there was no place to sleep. Su Yun wouldn't be stupid enough to curl up in the corner for a night. That would be very uncomfortable. Brothers, it's late. Go to sleep early. Sorry to disturb you. Su-yun. Which bed should I sleep on? Big brother, please give me a place. Su-yun had already seen Zhu Chong occupying the bed, but he still politely greeted him. Zhu Chong, whose real name was Chao Chong, was arrogant and conceited. Most importantly, he was selfish and unfriendly. No one was willing to stay in the same room with him, but because of his fists, no one dared to say anything. What was even more unacceptable was that Chao Chong's needs were very big. There were no women in the prison, so he could only use men to vent some of his selfish desires. This was something that many people could not accept. But everyone was full of fear of Zhu Chong, so no one dared to resist him. For those who were being tortured by Zhu Chong, a newcomer was simply a blessing. Because they knew that they would be free soon. With such a pretty boy, Zhu Chong's interest would definitely fall directly on this guy. As Zhu Chong said, chrysanthemum was the most perfect thing when it was fresh and tight. After a long time, it would become loose and meaningless. You can sleep next to me. Chao Chong looked at Su-yun with interest. He pointed to the empty space next to him, indicating that Su-yun could sleep there. After that, Su-yun wanted to go forward and drag out a bed. His behavior was really bold. When the people in the other cells heard that Zhu Chong was rejected, they started to shout. When Su-yun was about to drag the bed, a person came forward and stopped him. This is Brother Chong's bed. What qualifications do you have to touch it? Newcomer, do you need me to teach you the rules of the prison? Su-yun didn't even look at the person. If I was a person who followed the rules, I wouldn't be here. Yo. This guy is a prick. This made all the people in the prison even more excited. They all wanted to see how Zhu Chong would deal with this newcomer. Kill him. Kill him. Kill him. The people in the prison shouted in unison. It seemed that if no one taught Su-yun a lesson today, they would feel that something was missing in their hearts. These people's mentality was really abnormal. They would only be happy if others suffered. It was really morbid. I think you are tired of living. After that person said that, he planned to teach Su-yun a lesson. But before he could raise his fist, it was kicked away by Su-yun's foot. In a flash, he didn't even have time to cry out in pain. When Su-yun made a move, Chao Chong, of course, couldn't sit still. He couldn't let people behave atrociously in front of him. In here, he represented dignity and power. Chao Chong shouted and stood up. The other people in the prison also raised their fists. It seemed that they wanted to perform well in front of Zhu Chong, hoping that they could get more trust and respect from Zhu Chong in the future. This way, they would have a higher status in the prison in the future. After all, Zhu Chong represented power here. If they could walk together with Zhu Chong and get Zhu Chong's respect, the other prisoners would also look up to them and wouldn't dare to bully them. This was an opportunity in many people's eyes. Helping Zhu Chong deal with this newcomer was the easiest and most effective way for them to curry favor with Zhu Chong. However, no one expected Su-yun to be so good at fighting. Almost no one could walk in front of Su-yun before they were sent flying by Su-yun's moves. Even Giant Chong's 1.9 tall body was sent flying by Su-yun's uppercut. When he landed on the ground, a bed was crushed under his weight. The prison was filled with screams. The people in the other cells couldn't see the situation, but they still shouted and cheered for Zhu Chong. They wanted to hear how Zhu Chong destroyed this newcomer's chrysanthemum. But the people in the opposite cell couldn't shout. They could see very clearly that the other party was just one person, and he was slaughtering everyone in the cell. Not to mention the other guys, even Giant Chong was taught a lesson and could only take a beating. What kind of person was this newcomer? Wasn't this too terrifying? Chapter 2157. After a series of battles, the entire cell was quiet. Those who could not see the situation were puzzled. Why was it so quiet? Could it be that Zhu Chong had not taken off his pants yet? Apologize, and maybe I will spare you today. Su-yun kicked Chao Chong's head, who was lying on the ground. Don't play dead. You look quite strong. You can't be that weak, right? Cough, cough, cough. Chow Chong coughed a few times and spat out a mouthful of bloody phlegm from his throat. He could not believe that this small body had so much strength. He was a professional underground boxer, but he could not even withstand 3 punches from Su Yun. Especially the punch on his stomach. It was as if an electric drill had turned him on. The tearing pain made it impossible for him to hold on. If he had met such an opponent in the boxing ring, he would have thrown the towel and admitted defeat. He was no match for him at all. Su Yun did not give him a chance to breathe at all. This big brother. I admit defeat. I, Chow Chong, was blind. I offended you. Please, be merciful and give me a way out. Chow Chong could afford to lose. In the face of such an opponent, he did not feel that there was anything shameful. When the other people in the cell heard Chow Chong begging for mercy, there was a moment of silence. This was not Ju Chong's style. In the past, it was only his opponents who begged for mercy in front of him. When had he ever bowed his head to others? The entire prison was eerily quiet. Even the prison guard felt that something was wrong. He ran back to take a look and was at a loss for what to do in the face of such silence. He slammed the door twice with his electric baton. What are you all doing? Is there no movement? If there is no movement, I will turn off the lights. Hurry up and sleep. After the prison guard finished speaking, he turned off the lights. The whole prison was dark again. Listen to the arrangement of the leader. The leader asked us to sleep. Su Yun, can I have a bed now? It's all yours. All the beds are yours. Chow Chong said quickly. He did not care. Anyway, he would definitely have a place to sleep. At most, he would be wronged by the others to stay on the ground for a night. Su Yun smiled. That's more like it. People nowadays are always like this. If you don't beat them up a few times, they'll always think that they're awesome. All right, I won't talk nonsense with you. Su Yun said, those who should be sleeping, go to sleep. If anyone snores, keep your eyes open. I've been a little weak these days, so I can't sleep well. Don't disturb me. When Chow Chong heard this, he was done for. He was snoring. Did this mean that he would not be able to sleep for the rest of the night? Between not sleeping and offending this boss, he would rather not sleep. However, he still did not know the other party's name, nor did he know who the other party was. Big brother. You, where are you from? Why haven't I seen you in Hong Kong or Macau? You're quite the nosy one, Su Yun said. Chow Chong hurriedly waved his hand. I don't dare. I just want to know Big Brother's name. I respect you. I don't have any other intentions. My name is Su Yun. Su Yun said, do you remember clearly? Do you want to know where I'm from? This is hard to say now. Currently, I'm with Brother Guang in the Kowloon district. However, Big Brother asked me to deal with Dakuan. If there are no accidents, when I get out, the Yujianwang district that Dakuan previously controlled should be mine. These words really caused an uproar in the prison. Following Brother Guang in the Kowloon district was already not something they dared to provoke. And this Su Yun even dealt with Dakuan. Yujianwang district would be his in the future? This really made people sigh. He dealt with Dakuan? How did he deal with it? Everyone was curious and pricked up their ears. Chow Chong stared at Su Yun with his eyes wide open. Brother Yun, you said you dealt with Dakuan? The boss of Yujianwang district? Hongdong Society's Dakuan? Yes. Su Yun had already chosen his bed and laid down. What's wrong? How did you deal with it? Chow Chong started to stutter. He was not confident, but this Su Yun did not seem to be bragging. His strength was indeed not ordinary. Su Yun looked at Chow Chong. What? You have a relationship with Dakuan? Then I'm sorry, if you want to see him in the future, you can only go to the King of Hell to write an application. Phew! The entire prison was shocked. This Su Yun said he killed Dakuan. This was simply impossible, right? Everyone in the prison knew what kind of person De Kuan was. No matter how arrogant and insolent these people in the prison were, there was absolutely no one who dared to touch De Kuan. De Kuan was notorious in Yujianwang district, no, in the entire Hong Kong and Macau. Everyone knew how ruthless De Kuan was. However, because De Kuan was highly appreciated by Hongdong Society's boss, Wang Jinjin, there was absolutely no one who dared to provoke De Kuan. If you don't believe me, ask your friends outside and ask around. Su Yun said, but don't talk nonsense in front of the police. After saying that, Su Yun turned over and went to sleep. However, the others in the prison couldn't fall asleep no matter how hard they tried. Among their fellow prisoners, there was a fellow who dared to kill De Kuan. Who could still sleep? One had to know that with their levels, they were not even worthy of carrying De Kuan's shoes. Chao Chong stared at Su Yun, who was lying on the bed, for a long time without blinking. He really hoped that this guy could get out sooner. However, after committing such a big crime, he probably would not be able to get out for a while, right? Unless a big shot like Wang Jinjin came forward to do something, he would definitely stay in there and wait for the investigation. Su Yun staying in there for one more day was one more day of suffering for Chao Chong. He had long been used to being a tyrant in prison. However, today, there was a person who was more powerful than him. His status had plummeted. How could he accept such a fact? Okay, brother, don't think so much. Su Yun said, those who don't snore, go to sleep. Those who don't sleep, don't disturb me. This was Su Yun's last sentence. Even the sound of breathing in the entire prison was careful. No one dared to offend this guy who dared to kill De Kuan. Even a giant became a weakling in front of him. Who dared to be rash? Wang Jinjin had already received the news that Su Yun was locked up. Although it was said to be a temporary detention, before this matter was investigated clearly, Su Yun would not be able to get out. He was not worried about Su Yun's current situation. If Su Yun could not even endure a few days in prison, then he would not be able to become a big shot. Now, Wang Jinjin was still thinking about another problem. When Su Yun killed De Kuan, he did not hesitate at all. That murderous aura was indeed consistent with the performance of a foreign assassin. However, there was another problem that Wang Jinjin would suspect. That was that Su Yun was too decisive. After all, De Kuan was a member of the Hongdong Society. Although Su Yun killed him, it proved that he could kill without blinking. However, if Su Yun was involved with the police, it would not be surprising that he would directly kill De Kuan. After all, De Kuan was a nail that had to be eliminated in the eyes of the police. Therefore, there might be some problems with Su Yun's swift action. In fact, Wang Jinjin had already arranged for people to investigate Su Yun's identity. The results could make him feel at ease. There was no evidence of any connection between him and the police in Hong Kong and Macau. Li Guang was really lucky to be able to obtain such a talent. Now that De Kuan was eliminated, no one in the entire Hongdong Society would go against Li Guang anymore. Wang Jinjin enjoyed the wonderful feeling brought by the cigar. The image of Su Yun killing De Kuan kept appearing in his mind. Su Yun's eyes, Su Yun's movements, and everything about Su Yun kept flashing in his mind. He always wanted to see something, but he could not see anything. The more it was like this, the more Wang Jinjin had to be careful. The road to survival was not easy. Wang Jinjin warned himself countless times. He still needed to find out more information from the police. Only then would he dare to make a decision. Originally, Wang Jinjin wanted to see everyone's recognition of Su Yun during tomorrow's regular meeting. It seemed that it would have to be delayed again. However, it did not matter. He had plenty of people in his hands. He could temporarily arrange for someone to manage and maintain the Yao Jianwang district. Although it would be troublesome for Wang Jinjin without De Kuan, it would make Wang Jinjin's position as the boss of the Hongdong Society more stable. De Kuan was a talent. He was also the only person who could threaten his position for so many years. Therefore, Wang Jinjin did not feel that De Kuan's death was a pity. Instead, he felt fortunate. Chapter 2158. Su Yun's first night in this prison cell was considered peaceful. There was really no movement at all. However, those who were sleeping and snoring consciously opened their eyes wide. No one wanted to offend this guy who even dared to destroy Dakuan. In the temporary prison cell of Jiulong City Prison, Su Yun lived freely. When he woke up the next morning, no one in the cell dared to disturb him. Even if they woke up, they could only quietly put on their clothes. Chao Chong and the other two didn't sleep all night. Their eyes were swollen like goose eggs, but they didn't dare to complain. They looked at Su Yun with a fearful smile. They were afraid that they would make Su Yun angry if something went wrong. "Brother Yun, did you sleep well yesterday?" Chao Chong said. After all, he was the leader here. Although the people here were only gangsters who were detained for half a month at most, he still had a lot of face. In front of Su Yun, Chao Chong really put down his whole face in order to please Su Yun. "It's okay," Su Yun said. "I didn't expect a place with so many people to be so quiet. How did you all sleep? Are you all okay?" Probably no one here slept comfortably. Those who were afraid of snoring didn't dare to sleep. Those who were timid couldn't sleep. Those who slept were stiff all night. But when they heard Su Yun's question, they all nodded vigorously. "We slept very well, very well. Thank you, Brother Yun, for your concern. It's fine as long as you all slept well. Don't disturb your rest when I come. Otherwise, I'll be guilty." Su Yun said, "It's fate that we can live together. Don't be so nervous. Relax a little." "Yes, yes, yes." Everyone nodded their heads vigorously. Chao Chong said with a smile, "Brother Yun, I'll be out in more than a month. Can I hang out with you after I go out? Although I don't have any skills, I can fight and dare to risk my life." "Sure." Su Yun, by the time Chao Chong leaves in a month, Wang Jinjin will probably be finished. How can he still survive? How can he survive? Really? Chao Chong was so excited that he almost jumped up. "Brother Yun, I'll be at your beck and call in the future. I'll listen to everything you say. If you tell me to go east, I won't dare to go west. You sure know how to stir up trouble. Not bad." Su Yun smiled. "Let's talk about it after we get out." At this time, the whistle sounded. There was no freedom in this place. When it was time, they had to do morning exercises, run, and exercise. After the exercise, they had to eat breakfast on time. Although they were prisoners, breakfast was still okay. There was porridge and eggs to eat. The standard meal was an egg for each person, but with Chao Chong around, Su Yun naturally had to eat as well. Chao Chong had given him 6 eggs. Su Yun waved his hand and frowned. "Do you think you're special just because you're strong? If you eat one more person won't be able to eat it. Do you understand? You have to return it to whoever you take it from." At first glance, this guy had bullied a lot of people. Su Yun actually disliked this kind of guy who bullied the weak and feared the strong. "Brother Yun, these are all given to you by your brothers. They all divided up the work. Once every 3 days, it's okay to eat less eggs for 1 day." Chao Chong said. They all volunteered. "I didn't force them. Don't give me that. Do you think I'll believe your nonsense?" Su Yun said, "Besides, being in prison doesn't train your muscles. What's the point of eating so many eggs? Aren't you afraid of having excessive cholesterol? Go, take it back." Seeing that Su Yun was impatient, Chao Chong did as he was told. He returned the eggs to whoever he snatched. Chao Chong, who was rejected, was not discouraged. He still followed Su Yun around. When Su Yun came, the prison tyrant changed. Even the prison guards were very surprised. This newcomer was really capable. Chao Chong was like a grandson. Although Su Yun was going to be in prison for a few days, these few days were really comfortable. He was completely like a local tyrant. The Hongdong Society's regular meeting went on as usual. The purpose of the people present today was to see if the position of the boss of Yao Jianwang district was going to be assigned to Su Yun. However, they did not expect to hear the news that Su Yun was arrested. Li Guang had nothing to worry about. He knew that the police would not arrange for Su Yun to be released. That would make Wang Jinjin suspicious. Therefore, he directly proposed to find a way to get Su Yun out. When this proposal came out, Fatty Tian was naturally the first to agree with both hands. Su Yun was his benefactor. He helped him kill De Kuan. Fatty Tian would definitely remember this favor for the rest of his life. Needless to say, Li Guang was Su Yun's brother. He would definitely try his best to get him out of there. As for the other bosses, some agreed, and some felt that it did not matter. Anyway, the police could not find evidence and could not completely convict Su Yun. He would be released in a few days. In everyone's words, Wang Jinjin also expressed his own thoughts. He did not intend to use his connections to get people out. This is actually just a small matter. Guang, you don't have to make a fuss about it. Wang Jinjin said, with Su Yun's ability, he won't suffer a loss even if he is detained for a few days. I personally think that it is not a bad thing to let him experience the prison in Hong Kong and Macau. Boss, Su Yun was arrested because he was working for the club. Li Guang said, if we don't do anything, I am afraid that it will disappoint our brothers. Who would dare to work for the club in the future? Wang Jinjin smiled slightly. Let's be frank. It is good that everyone understands. I am very satisfied with Su Yun's performance. It is definitely not that I want to ignore Su Yun. I just want to train him. When the police can't find any evidence, he will naturally be released. This shows that boss is ignoring Su Yun, Li Guang said. When Su Yun is released, I will let him take care of the entire Yao Jianwang district. I will let him take over De Kuan's position. Isn't this very sincere? As soon as Wang Jinjin said this, it immediately caused a burst of exclamations. This reward was indeed too great, and it was too great for anyone. Such a big piece of territory was directly given to a newcomer like Su Yun. Even if he was very capable, it was still somewhat beyond everyone's expectations. Boss, Li Guang said, what if the police find evidence that can convict him? What will happen to Su Yun? If that is the case, I can't do anything. Wang Jinjin said, this depends on his own luck. This is all fate. It depends on whether God wants to give him this opportunity. Li Guang frowned. He vaguely felt a trace of uneasiness. He couldn't tell where this uneasiness came from, but he felt that Wang Jinjin's thoughts weren't as simple as it seemed. Listening to his words, Su Yun might not even be able to get out at all? Hiss. Li Guang took a cold breath. Could it be that Wang Jinjin already had doubts about Su Yun? If that was the case, things would be really difficult. Guang, I know that you are nervous for your brother, but don't worry. Wang Jinjin said, it's not so easy for the police to find evidence. Give Su Yun some time. Consider it as training him. What I need is a boss in the Yujianwang district, not a follower who follows behind you. Li Guang nodded. Since Wang Jinjin said so, what else could he do? He could only pray that things would go smoothly. However, all of this wasn't as simple as Li Guang imagined. Wang Jinjin wouldn't believe a person so easily. Su Yun dared to kill De Kuan in such a short time in front of him. Obviously, Wang Jinjin felt uneasy. It was indeed difficult to rely on the police to collect evidence of Su Yun's murder. However, if Wang Jinjin helped the police to collect it, then Su Yun's trouble was really not small. Once the evidence collected and held by Wang Jinjin was obtained by the police, they could immediately convict Su Yun of intentional homicide. At that time, whether Su Yun could get out or not would be a small matter. The more important thing was whether Su Yun could survive. Li Guang didn't know that Wang Jinjin had arranged all of this, so he still had hope. Wang Jinjin had already made his decision. He wouldn't ask for anyone's advice on this matter. Even if it was Li Guang's, he wouldn't listen. Because he had his own plans and considerations, and he was thinking for himself. Chapter 2159. Su Yun didn't think about how long he would stay in there. After all, he was working for Hong Dong-shi to get rid of De Kuan. Wang Jinjin should have arranged for someone to get him out soon. However, 2 days had passed, and there was no sign of anyone coming to save Su Yun. Su Yun started to get impatient, but the others in the prison felt that it was quite good. The longer Su Yun stayed in there, the more time they had to get close to him. Especially Chao Chong, who stayed close to him. He would help Su Yun when he went to the toilet. Today was Su Yun's 3rd day in prison. Su Yun's patience was challenged for the first time. However, hard work paid off in the end, and Su Yun was summoned. "Brother Yun, it looks like you're going out." Chao Chong was excited. "Brother, don't forget me when you're outside. I'll look for you after I get out. You must remember me." Su Yun didn't have the time to listen to Chao Chong's nagging. He nodded perfunctorily and left quickly. However, Su Yun didn't expect that what awaited him wasn't his release from prison, but a piece of conclusive evidence that proved that he was the murderer of the Da Kuan case. This time, Su Yun was really confused. Wasn't it difficult for the Hong Kong and Macau police to arrest someone? Da Kuan had done so many bad things and killed so many innocent people. The Hong Kong and Macau police couldn't find any evidence year after year, but they found evidence for his case. F***CK. You can't play like this, right? This is too much of a joke. Are you kidding me? Su Yun's eyes widened. Who the F***CK was behind this? And what did that Bull**T Special Operations Team do? They didn't have any effect at all. Once the evidence was out, Su Yun was convicted. Now, he had to wait for the verdict. According to Su Yun's character, it was estimated that a life sentence wouldn't be a problem. F***CK. Su Yun wanted to get out of prison for assaulting the police. This was too ridiculous. If he really locked himself up, it would be troublesome. However, there was nothing he could do now. He couldn't communicate with Yang Qi or Li Guang. Now that Su Yun was completely out of line with them, he could only hope that they could communicate with him in all aspects of his work outside. In this situation, Su Yun really didn't know what the people outside were doing. Perhaps Yang Qi and the others didn't intervene in this matter at all. But Su Yun did not understand. What about Li Guang? Wang Jinjin couldn't just watch him be sentenced, right? If this old fox really did that, then he would be too much of a bastard. Unless he had already begun to suspect Su Yun's identity, then he would use such a trick to blackmail Su Yun. Phew, Su Yun felt unwell all over. This damned mission really made his head swell. Who the hell knew how he should deal with this matter now? This news quickly spread to Chao Chong and the others. They were also in an uproar. Was this Su Yun not someone Wang Jinjin valued? Then how could he be sentenced to death? What was hidden in this matter? Of course, they couldn't figure it out. What made Chao Chong unhappy was that if Su Yun couldn't get out, then his flattery these days would be in vain. Things were always like this. The wind was turbulent and the clouds were unpredictable. When Su Yun's crime was finalized and before the sentencing, Su Yun was locked in a separate room in the official prison. In here, Su Yun was in big trouble. He knew that once he was summoned again, it would be the sentencing time. Then, he would really become a prisoner. In the dead of night, Su Yun tossed and turned repeatedly. He couldn't sleep at all. Finally, he heard someone's voice coming. When he heard the conversation between the prison guard and the person, Su Yun's heart was rekindled with hope. It was Li Guang. It seemed that Hong Dong-shi didn't interfere in this matter, but it was a little troublesome. Soon, Li Guang came to Su Yun's side. The prison door outside was tightly shut. Li Guang walked to the door of Su Yun's detention room. His expression was quite haggard. "Brother, I've wronged you these few days." "It's okay to be wronged. When can I get out?" Su Yun asked. Li Guang looked around and lowered his voice. "It's not that simple. Wang Jinjin, that old fox, seems to want to kill with a borrowed knife." "What do you mean?" Su Yun was stunned. "I got rid of De Kuan for him. Not only did he not reward me, but he also set a trap for me? You mean, he didn't plan to get me out at all? Not only that, your evidence was collected by the police because of him. Li Guang lowered his voice as much as possible. This matter is more complicated than you think. This old thing is really something. He set me up? Su Yun was stunned. He's really something. I helped him deal with the problem, but he directly pushed me into this bottomless abyss. Damn, he's so righteous. Li Guang said, Wang Jinjin is really a cunning old fox. When he saw how merciless you were towards Dakuan, he suspected that your identity was suspicious. He's doing this now to see how the police will judge you. So, the police can't help you and can only go through the normal procedure to convict you. Su Yun nodded. You mean to say that the people from the Special Operations Team can't do anything about this? Yes. Once they help you deal with the problem, your identity will be directly exposed to Wang Jinjin. Li Guang said. That way, our entire plan will be completely ruined. So, they are now in a very difficult situation. They don't know how to proceed with the next step of the plan. That's really useless. I don't know what to do either. Su Yun said, but I can't be left alone just because of this, right? Then, won't I be in trouble? What if they give me the death penalty? Then, will I really have to play along and get shot? Li Guang was also very helpless. If that really happens, I won't sit still and wait for death. Su Yun said, if I get shot, the mission will be ruined. If Wang Jinjin sees through my identity, the mission will also be ruined. I'd rather let him see through my identity. I'll play hard with him. I won't sit still and wait for death. That won't happen. Don't worry. They won't give you the death penalty for this matter. Li Guang said, just hold on a little longer. Be patient. Trust me. Trust me. I will definitely think of a good way. Su Yun sighed. The only person I can trust now is you. At the very least, you will think of a way to come in and see me. I don't trust the people from the Special Operations Team. As for Wang Jinjin, that old thing is scheming against me. Don't let me seize the opportunity. If I seize the opportunity, I will kill him. Li Guang tried his best to appease Su Yun's emotions. Stay calm. No matter what the outcome is, stay calm. I will definitely find a way to ensure your safety. I will continue to probe Wang Jinjin. Right now, he is suspicious of you, so he is doing this. If the situation becomes unfavorable for you, he may put away his suspicion. At that time, I will try my best to let him find a way to deal with this matter. Su Yun nodded. All right, Brother Guang, I'm not worried about you. Just get me out of here before I get shot. I will. Li Guang said, cooperating with your work and protecting your identity is my task. Su Yun took a deep breath. The police from the mainland were still reliable. These Hong Kong and Macau police were really unreliable. He didn't know what they were thinking when they did things. Even if he wanted to compete with Wang Jinjin in terms of patience, he couldn't use him as a bet. One must know that this kind of thing wasn't a joke. Just a little bit of trouble would cause him to be unable to turn over. If Wang Jinjin's suspicion of me has reached a certain point, then Brother Guang, you have to be careful. Su Yun, you must pay attention to your own safety. I know my current situation. Li Guang said, since Wang Jinjin has doubts about you, he will definitely guard against me. I will be careful. Alright, I understand what you mean. Hurry up and leave. Su Yun, this place is unlucky. Don't stay for too long. If you stay for too long, it will easily bring bad luck to you. If there is a chance, you should think about how to protect yourself first. On my side, you should put pressure on the higher-ups as much as possible. Su Yun didn't believe that the Special Operations Team people didn't know how dangerous his current situation was. Chapter 2160. The members of the Special Operations Team naturally knew how dangerous Su Yun's current situation was, but it was difficult for them to deal with it now. Yang Qi had been roaring in the office for more than 10 minutes. She was very dissatisfied with the current situation. She felt that they had not done their duty, which was why Su Yun was in such trouble. The situation had become very complicated. Su Yun was about to become a murderer, but Wang Jinjin was still not worried. Department Head Gu, you have to think of a way to save Su Yun. You have to know that he is someone we borrowed from Yanjing. If we convict him like this, how are we going to explain it to Yanjing? Yang Qi was still very worried about Su Yun. Su Yun had been in prison for a few days. Not only did his condition not improve, but it also worsened. She was full of apologies. None of us expected the situation to become like this, Guming said. Guming said, Wang Jinjin set up a trap for Su Yun this time to see if Su Yun is a spy or not. Huanan also nodded. Yang Qi, don't be agitated. Perhaps there would be a turn for the better. It is normal for Wang Jinjin to do this. After all, he is now in a very special period. If he wants to trust and use Su Yun, he will definitely use the safest way to test Su Yun. In that case, it may be a good thing, Guming said. The more Wang Jinjin treats Su Yun like this, the more it shows that he has high expectations for Su Yun, and they are very high expectations. Yang Qi shook her head. Department Head Gu, Team Leader Hua, you are just guessing. Guesses have no basis. We have guessed Wang Jinjin's intentions wrong many times. The current situation is that Su Yun is facing a lot of trouble. We can't just sit and wait. We also want to find a foolproof plan to deal with it, but what can we do now? Gu Ming said, as soon as we take action, Su Yun's identity will be exposed immediately, and all the plans will be ruined. Can we do that? Yang Qi suppressed the annoyance in his heart. But if we continue to ignore it, the matter won't be resolved. If we really sentence Su Yun, it will be even more impossible to turn the situation around. That way, at least the plan isn't finished. We can still think of a way to send people in. Gu Ming said, no matter what, we can't let Wang Jinjin find out that we've been trying to arrange people around him. So Su Yun is going to be sacrificed? Yang Qi asked. For the sake of the big picture, if it is really necessary, I have no choice but to do so. Gu Ming said, he can be a sacrifice. He just has to sacrifice his reputation. He won't be sentenced to death. You don't have to worry about that. When this matter is over, I will naturally prove his innocence. Yang Qi more or less knew Su Yun's temper. Minister Gu, aren't you afraid that he'll fall out with you when he comes out? There's no other way. I have no other way now. What can I do? Gu Ming said, I really have no other way. You have to consider the big picture. This matter can't be solved by just one person. Huanan said, Yang Qi, I think you need to calm down and think about this matter. Minister Gu is right. We have to consider the big picture. Okay. What you said is the truth. What you said makes sense. Yang Qi said, I'm being nosy. We understand your worries. We are also worried. Gu Ming said, Yang Qi, your current situation is not stable. I've decided to cancel your participation in the mission. What? Yang Qi's eyes widened. Minister Gu, I do have my impulses. But the mission needs me. You know that. When you are needed, I will naturally arrange for you to come back. Gu Ming was very firm. 2 days later, in Wang Jinjin's villa in Wanchai district, a few elders of Hongdong group were smoking cigars together. It's done. Cheng Feng said faintly, Boss seems to be overthinking this matter. Su Yun has no foundation in Hong Kong or Macau. The judgment is really fast. Wang Jinjin smiled slightly. Yes, this matter is really beyond my expectations. The matter came to a conclusion so quickly. I didn't expect the Hong Kong and Macau police to be so efficient. It is really beyond our expectations. Boss, what's our next step? Are we really going to watch Su Yun get locked up? Cheng Feng asked. Wang Jinjin nodded. Of course. If we don't take the last step, how can I be sure of the credibility of the matter? If that's the case, I'm afraid Li Guang won't agree. Cheng Feng smiled. Li Guang has done so much for Hongdong Group over the years. Now that his subordinates are in trouble, Hongdong Group's attitude will definitely affect Li Guang. There's no other way. It's a little unfair for Li Guang, but for the sake of the club, Li Guang can accept this grievance. Wang Jinjin said. I believe he can understand. At this time, Li Guang had already driven to Wang Jinjin's villa in Wanchai district. He stopped the car and quickly ran into the villa. When the few underlings outside saw Li Guang, they respectfully called him Brother Guang. Li Guang rushed in and saw Wang Jinjin and a few big bosses sitting in the living room smoking cigars. His face immediately became very gloomy. He didn't care about disturbing them and directly called out, "Boss." The few of them were stunned. Li Guang came just as they were talking about him. It was really like speaking of the devil. "Ah Guang, why do you have time to come here?" Wang Jinjin greeted Li Guang and motioned for him to sit down. He also asked someone to prepare tea for Li Guang. "Boss, I believe you know why I'm here." Li Guang said, "Su Yun's matter has been judged. Is the club really going to ignore it?" "Ah Guang, calm down first. Sit down and talk slowly." Cheng Feng said, "Boss called us here today to discuss this matter." Li Guang didn't believe it. He didn't sit down and looked at Cheng Feng. "If boss wants to discuss Su Yun's matter, he will definitely call me here. Boss, no matter what, you have to give me an explanation today. No matter what, Su Yun is now my man. I need an explanation. My brothers also need an explanation from the club." Wang Jinjin didn't say anything. He still gestured for Li Guang to sit down and calm down first. Li Guang took a deep breath and finally chose to sit down. Wang Jinjin was very satisfied. Li Guang could sit down and talk, which meant that he was calm. "Ah Guang, I know very well that you and the others have done for the club. I also know that you are a person who values relationships. Wang Jinjin, something happened to your brother and you need to solve it. You need to give your brothers an explanation." "I can understand." "Then let's think of something. It's not too late," Li Guang said. "There's nothing to worry about. He was sentenced to 20 years for this matter. It's not a death sentence. Wang Jinjin, as long as he doesn't die, we have the time and energy to deal with this matter. I'm here. What do you have to worry about?" Li Guang couldn't accept this. "Boss, if we had done it earlier, Su Yun wouldn't have been sentenced. Ah Guang, you can't just think for yourself and your brothers. You have to think for boss too." Cheng Feng said, "Things aren't that simple. Boss has his reasons for doing this. Brother Feng, the person who was sentenced isn't your brother. He's not your man. You don't have to feel guilty saying this." Li Guang said, "But I can't sit still. Su Yun is my man." "Su Yun isn't just your man. He's also our Hongdong Group's man. We will think of something." Cheng Feng said, "You have to stay calm. Otherwise, things will become more troublesome. Don't you think so?" Li Guang was speechless. "But I really can't accept this reality." "I know. We all know." Wang Jinjin said, "Ah Guang, don't worry. I promise you that I will give you a satisfactory answer. Can you be at ease now?" "Boss, it's just a promise. I really can't be at ease." Li Guang said, "I know your concerns. I can also give you a promise. Su Yun is really fine." Chapter 2161. He. Wang Jinjin smiled. "Ah Guang, since you know what I'm thinking, you have to support me even more." Cheng Feng had been adding fuel to the fire. Hongdong society has been accepting challenges from the police over the years. All kinds of undercover agents have come to Hongdong society to cause trouble. Ah Guang, you have personally dealt with it. So, you should understand how the boss feels. Speaking of this, Li Guang's heart felt like it was being ruthlessly squeezed. This was a pain that he didn't want to remember in his life. In order to prove that there was no problem with his identity, in order to ensure that he could continue to lurk around Wang Jinjin, Li Guang did something that he would never forgive himself for the rest of his life. Yes, he personally killed his colleagues, his friends, and the undercover police who came to Wang Jinjin's side. Although this matter was special, the higher-ups also gave Li Guang support and understanding, and even gave Li Guang their trust and trust. However, Li Guang's heart could never forgive and forget this matter. He remembered very clearly that it was an arms deal. The Huaxia police had arranged for his brothers, who were undercover in Huaxia, to repackage him for a year. They had packaged him as a gangster who had come to Huaxia to buy arms. However, it was unknown where the news was leaked. Wang Jinjin knew everything. He carefully planned and led the other party to an abandoned factory for a deal. This wasn't a deal, but a massacre. The people who came to the deal were all arranged by the Huaxia police. There were also many Hong Kong and Macau police outside, ready to attack at any time. As long as Wang Jinjin took out the goods, this matter could catch him in the act. As long as he was caught red-handed, Wang Jinjin couldn't escape the punishment of the law. However, the cunning Wang Jinjin didn't bring the goods at all. He came here to eliminate the other party's people. When Li Guang's brothers came to meet Wang Jinjin as the underworld boss, they were all taken down by Wang Jinjin's people. Wang Jinjin let his men deal with them one by one. At that time, Li Guang wasn't the boss of Kowloon City. He was just a subordinate of Wang Jinjin. Although Wang Jinjin trusted him, the trust wasn't enough. This time, Wang Jinjin gave Li Guang the opportunity to kill the undercover police agent. He wanted Li Guang to kill him personally. One had to know that the other party was Li Guang's brother. At that time, Li Guang's mind was completely blank. This was not the first time Li Guang had killed someone, but it was the first time Li Guang had killed his own brother. When Wang Jinjin handed the gun to Li Guang really thought of retreating. He even thought of killing Wang Jinjin with one shot. But he also knew that so many of Wang Jinjin's men were pointing guns at him. As long as he made any suspicious movements, his ending was also death. And his brothers still couldn't escape this calamity. When they walked into this trap, it meant that no one would be able to leave alive. Li Guang was struggling in his heart. The intense battle of thoughts was tormenting him. He knew that as long as this shot went down, he would never see his brother again. However, the brother on the other side was very clear that even if Li Guang didn't do anything to him, he wouldn't be able to leave this place alive. Wang Jinjin would still arrange for someone else to deal with him. He was already on the road to death. If Li Guang could do something to him, Li Guang would gain Wang Jinjin's trust and would have more opportunities to deal with Wang Jinjin. Rather than both of them dying, of course, it was better to sacrifice him. He constantly used words to provoke Li Guang, thinking of ways to make Li Guang do something. Li Guang, who was awake, made the most difficult decision in his life. He pulled the trigger and saw his brother fall into a pool of blood with his own eyes. Everything that should have happened had happened. Everything that shouldn't have happened had also happened. In fact, Li Guang still didn't know that Wang Jinjin only gave him 20 seconds to hesitate. If Li Guang didn't shoot within those 20 seconds, he would also die. Li Guang's decision was correct. He protected his identity. Although this matter couldn't be blamed on him, he had always blamed himself. He thought that he had used his brother's life to save his own. This kind of psychological pressure and burden was definitely a huge pain that a normal person couldn't bear. This matter was definitely a taboo for Li Guang. He didn't want to hear anyone mention this matter. I don't need others to remind me of what I've done, Li Guang said stiffly to Cheng Feng. This made Cheng Feng a little surprised. Li Guang was usually very polite to the elders. He didn't expect that he would dare to speak to him like this. Speaking to them like this was De Kuan's style. Although Li Guang's reaction more or less made Cheng Feng feel a little unhappy, Cheng Feng still endured it. He knew that Li Guang's current mood must be very complicated, so it was understandable that he would do something irrational. Ah Guang, don't be like this. It will affect everyone's mood. Wang Jinjin said, sit down and have a cup of tea. We will discuss this matter at length. Boss, if you can't help me solve Su Yun's problem, I will think of my own solution. I will think of my own way. Li Guang said, I don't have time to waste. Your solution? What solution can you have? Are you going to bring people to hijack the prison's prisoner transport van? Do you know the consequences of doing that? Wang Jinjin asked a few questions. Let me tell you, if you do that, it won't only affect you. It will also affect the Hongdong society. Li Guang lowered his head. He said this to give Wang Jinjin some pressure and make him do something. Compared to one of your brothers, you don't care about the interests of the entire Hongdong society? Wang Jinjin was a little angry. Boss, that's not what I meant. Li Guang said, the society's interests will always come first. I have never forgotten this point in all these years. Then sit here and calm down. I said that I will take care of it, so I will definitely take care of it. When have I not done what I promised you? Wang Jinjin said, Ah Guang, you must have confidence in me. Li Guang had nothing to say. Wang Jinjin had already made up his mind. Boss, I know your concerns. You are worried about Su Yun's safety. Then do you think my concerns are correct? Wang Jinjin said, just like what Cheng Feng mentioned 3 years ago. If it wasn't for my concerns, if it wasn't for my cautiousness, would you be here today? We would have been in prison long ago. Li Guang gritted his teeth and clenched his fists. So, everything I have considered is necessary. Wang Jinjin said, Ah Guang, you are already an old member of the Hongdong society. After following me for so many years, you should learn to leave a way out for yourself. Even if Su Yun is trustworthy, I still need my own final confirmation. Li Guang took a deep breath. He has already been sentenced. What is there to be uncertain about? Boss, since you have said so, then this matter, just pretend I didn't say anything. I still have things to do. I will take my leave first. Ah Guang, how old are you? Why are you still throwing a tantrum in front of boss? Cheng Feng said. This is your fault. Li Guang glanced at Cheng Feng. If it were you, your emotions might be even greater than mine. I did not want to throw a tantrum in front of boss, so I left. Can't I do that? All right. Don't say any more. Wang Jinjin said. I understand Ah Guang's feelings. Right now, he does need to calm down. Go back and have a good rest. If you still feel uncomfortable, bring 2 of your brothers to the martial arts hall to practice some boxing and vent. You will understand the meaning of my actions in the future. Yes. I understand, boss. After saying that, Li Guang stood up. Then, I will not disturb boss and the other brothers' discussion. I will take my leave first. Be careful on the road. You cannot drive with emotions. Wang Jinjin had no intention of keeping him. Li Guang left without looking back. This time, Wang Jinjin was really going to fight to the death with Su Yun. He had his reasons for doubting Su Yun, and they were very reasonable. Li Guang had already done his best. Now, all he needed to do was wait patiently. Together with Su Yun, they needed to wait patiently for the opportunity to come. As for when the opportunity would come and when Wang Jinjin would make his move, everything was unknown. But no matter what, they still had a piece of good news to comfort themselves. After all, Su Yun's identity had not been exposed. This was the best possible outcome. Chapter 2162. Wang Jinjin refused to make a move, so the Hong Kong and Macau Special Task Force members could not be at ease. Gu Ming had not slept for the past few days. His mind was filled with thoughts of how to deal with the situation he was facing. The pressure from all sides was concentrated on him. He was the one who invited them. If the plan was announced to be ruined, then Wang Jinjin would be more cautious, and they would have no chance. Another point was that they had to consider Li Guang's safety. Once Su Yun's identity was announced, Once Wang Jinjin realized that something was wrong with Su Yun, then Li Guang would be pushed into this whirlpool. Li Guang was able to make Wang Jinjin arrange for him to be by his side at ease. How much effort did that take? If this matter crippled Li Guang, then the loss would outweigh the gain. Gu Ming really felt that his head was about to explode. Wang Jinjin, oh Wang Jinjin, Gu Ming had already considered how difficult it would be to deal with this guy. If he was someone who could be easily dealt with by them, then they would not have been helpless against him for so many years. Other than making Su Yun suffer, Gu Ming could not think of any other way. If Wang Jinjin never made a move against Su Yun, then they could only let Su Yun stay in prison. They could only let him out after Wang Jinjin's matter was settled. If they had to make such a decision, Gu Ming did not know how he would explain it to Yan Jing. They brought Su Yun here to do something for Su Yun. Now that there was such trouble, if they let Su Yun stay in prison for 10 days to half a month, then it would be reasonable. After all, sacrifices had to be made for the mission. But what if this matter could not be resolved and they really had to wait for a year? 2 years? 3 to 5 years? If he could not find any evidence against Wang Jinjin in 20 years, did he really have to let Su Yun stay in prison for 20 years? If that was the case, he could not explain it to anyone. Gu Ming slammed his head on the table twice. He only wanted to sleep now. Only when he was asleep could he not think about anything. But his mind was always in a tense state, and he could not sleep peacefully at all. Damn it! Gu Ming wished he could shoot himself to death. Now that this situation was out of control, he had an unshakable responsibility. Everyone was making plans and considerations for Su Yun, and Su Yun couldn't help at all. He could only play his role well and keep Wang Jinjin's trust in him. This was the only thing Su Yun could do now. After being sentenced, Su Yun was sent to the prison where he would really live for a long time. Located halfway up the mountain in the southwest of Dapu district, the prison was filled with criminals suspected of intentional murder and intentional injury. Many of these people were once famous figures in Hong Kong and Macau, but of course, there were also some who were here as scapegoats. In short, this place wasn't as comfortable as the place where Su Yun had stayed before. In the place where Su Yun had stayed before, there was only Chao Chong. But in this place, there were many people like Chao Chong, and some were even more ruthless than him. Because there were many murderers in this prison, it was also a very restless prison. Su Yun was sent in at 10 o'clock in the morning. After a physical examination and a change of clothes, Su Yun was introduced to his cell under the guidance of the prison guard. The standard of accommodation here seemed to be better than before. It was a standard 6-person room. This time was the time to let out some fresh air, so when Su Yun arrived, no one stayed in the room. After putting away the wash basin, towels and other necessities prepared by the prison, Su Yun was taken to the prison's big playground by the prison guard. The criminals who had just gone through labor in the morning were all gathered in the big playground. The towering walls and iron bars looked shocking, but the facilities inside the prison were quite good. There was a basketball court and a basketball hoop. There were 4 towers in the 4 corners of the prison playground, and each tower had a sentry with a gun. After the prison guard threw Su Yun inside, he hurriedly left. There were nearly 200 criminals in the whole playground. Outside the towering iron bars, there were a few prison guards on duty. But these prison guards didn't pay too much attention to some of the things that happened in the prisoners' playground. A few people had some small conflicts on the basketball court, but in the eyes of the prison guards, it was not a problem at all. They just let them solve it themselves. According to Su Yun's general observation, the 200-plus criminals were roughly divided into 3 areas. Some people occupied the basketball court, some people occupied the football court, and the weakest group could only walk around the single and parallel bars area. There were also a few pitiful people, and it seemed that no force would take them in. They were more pitiful. When the ball was kicked on the court, someone would order them to pick it up. When the basketball was thrown out, someone would order them to pick it up. But they couldn't play anything, and couldn't participate. They could only sit together in 2 or 3 pitifully and rely on each other. The general situation was like this. Su Yun thought that these guys were really interesting. They were already F***ing in, and they still wanted to set up a sphere of influence. They really had the fate of mingling in the underworld for a lifetime. As a newcomer, Su Yun naturally attracted a lot of attention. The pitiful people in twos and threes looked at Su Yun's body and body that was similar to an ordinary person's. They were more or less gloating in their hearts. Perhaps this guy would be like them, becoming a pitiful worm that was humiliated. Those tall and strong fellows would also pay some attention to them. To be able to come to this place, as long as he was not a scapegoat, he must be a ruthless character. So they had to determine whether this guy was a ruthless character or a scapegoat. If he was a scapegoat, no one would pay attention to him. But if he was a ruthless character, the three forces in this prison would definitely try their best to rope him in. Although it was a prison, Manpower was also the capital of the three prison tyrants. In fact, it was not a competition of individual fighting ability, but a competition of numbers. Of course, this number of people had to be ruthless enough. Those scapegoats did not count at all. Those scapegoats had never killed or seriously injured anyone before. Of course, they could not be compared to those truly vicious murderers. The newcomer Su Yun did not care about the gazes. He walked to the prison's field alone. It was not bad to have such a large space to move around. Su Yun only hoped that he would not spend too much time in here. If he stayed in here for too long, then he would really have to think of a way to escape from prison like Michael Schofield. This was not a good place. Staying in here for too long would cause one to break down. There was not even a woman. Just thinking about it made one despair. Su Yun raised his head and took a deep breath of fresh air. He did not know how long this release would last. It was better to enjoy the sunlight outside. Newcomer. A loud voice came from somewhere. Introduce yourself. Su Yun was taken aback. He knew that someone had their eyes on him. He looked around and locked his gaze on the people with the exercise equipment. The voice had come from that place. White Ghost. I think you've gone crazy from the lack of manpower. You're even interested in such a small, top-notch body? Ha 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 ha, old ghost, you're really interesting. A burst of laughter came from the basketball court. It seemed to be disdain for the people in the fitness equipment area. Old wolf, watch your subordinate's mouth. Be careful or I'll tear him apart. The person called White Ghost spoke. He should be the leader of the group of people in the fitness equipment area. He was really worthy of being called White Ghost. This guy was very strong. Although he was exposed to the sun, his skin was very white, just like a white person. If he did not have a standard Asian face, Su Yun would really think that he was white. Let's see if you have the ability. The ruler of the basketball court, Old Wolf, also spoke. Old Wolf was so thin that it was hard to believe that he was one of the three prison bullies in the prison. He was really nothing special. Compared to White Ghost, he was thin, weak, and short. They were not on the same level at all. In fact, Su Yun had long realized that this guy was not an ordinary person. To be able to stay on the basketball court with so many strong people and not be like those poor wretches, it meant that he had his own extraordinary means. However, Su Yun did not expect this guy to be a leader. Chapter 2163. Upon hearing the argument between White Ghoul and Old Wolf, Cheng Dong, the ruler of the football field and the one with the most influence in the prison, said, "It's not easy for us to get some time to relax. Can the two of you stop for a while?" Cheng Dong's words seemed to be more intimidating. Some of the poor fellows sensed danger and quickly hid in a corner. "Ah Dong, can you not interrupt me when I'm talking to White Ghoul? Do you have to be involved in everything here?" Old Wolf said to Cheng Dong, "I just feel sorry for White Ghoul. He even wants to take in such a scumbag. Humph, it doesn't seem to have anything to do with you, right? You can do whatever you want, but don't disturb my sleep." Cheng Dong said unhappily, "Go to a corner and fart if you have anything to say. Don't make a fuss here. This is not your F***king backyard." Seeing that the argument was about to escalate, The prison guard impatiently hit the wire mesh surrounding the entire field with his stun baton. Shut up. Go back if you don't want to stop. There's still 15 minutes left. If you're tired of waiting, go back in. With the prison guard's control, the atmosphere became slightly better. However, the three prison overlords were not really afraid of the prison guard's warning. They just felt that it was better to avoid unnecessary trouble, as a newcomer who had just been sent to prison was not worth it. Brother, come here. Don't stand in the middle and attract attention. Suddenly, a guy came forward and pulled Su Yun to a corner. Su Yun was startled. This kind of pitiful wretch without any power actually dared to come into contact with him at such a critical juncture. Su Yun didn't think too much about it and followed him to a corner of the field. Why are you here? The guy brought Su Yun to a corner and started chatting with him. Su Yun glanced at him but did not pay any attention to him. Seeing that Su Yun was not easy to get along with, the guy laughed. Oh, right, I forgot to introduce myself. My name is Tion. I don't belong to any of the three overlords here, but they'll give me some face and won't touch me. I have my own way of survival. As he spoke, Tion stretched out his hand, indicating that he was friendly. Su Yun only greeted him with two words, Su Yun. However, he did not shake hands with him. He did not care for the acquaintance of these criminals. Man, it won't hurt you to be nice to me. Tion said, there's nothing I can't get in prison. There's a prison guard who's my distant cousin, and he takes good care of me. Su Yun finally understood why this guy could do whatever he wanted in prison. If he could get anything that others needed, these people would definitely give him face, especially the three bosses. They would definitely have something that they needed. Of course, if you need anything, you have to pay for it. Hehehe. Tion said, you also know this place, it's not like outside, there's not so much freedom. Even if you have money, you can't buy whatever you want, but I can. Is this how you survive? Su Yun said, sounds pretty good. I knew you would say that. Tion said, so, no matter what you need, you can come to me. As long as you have money, there's nothing that I, Tion, can't solve. After that, Tion stretched out his finger and made a gesture of twisting money. Who are those three people just now? Su Yun asked. He was curious about the three prison bullies. Because of Chao Chong's experience, Su Yun knew that if he wanted to live comfortably in this place, he had to deal with these prison bullies. Those three people are not easy to deal with. Tion said, I advise you not to provoke them. Su Yun looked at Tion and did not speak. It took Tion a long time to understand that Su Yun was not satisfied with his answer. Well, I'll tell you, but don't be so scared that you pee your pants. Okay. Su Yun nodded. Let's talk about this white ghost first. He used to be in the Departure Island District. More than 80% of the territory in the Departure Island District belonged to him. Later, because of a very serious fight, the police found evidence that he was the mastermind of the incident, so he was arrested and sentenced to a heavy sentence. Tion said, as for Old Wolf, he's a famous figure in the Northern District because the Northern District is close to Guangshan City in the mainland. It's said that his power has entered the mainland because he killed people. After that, Tion looked around. Among these three people, the one that you shouldn't provoke the most is Cheng Dong. He's the mastermind of the Toon Men massacre case. It's said that this guy took over Toon Men District in just 5 years, but the police couldn't find all the evidence. They only found evidence of one of the cases. Originally, he was going to be sentenced to death, but he spent a lot of money to bribe his connections and got a suspended death sentence. A year ago, he used some kind of connection and his sentence was reduced to life imprisonment. I heard that he's still doing it. I think his sentence will be reduced this year. According to his ability, he'll be released in 10 years at most. It seems that Hong Kong and Macau are quite corrupt, Su Yun said. If the death sentence can be reduced to 10 years, it'll really cost a lot of money. You can't say this casually, Tion said, then looked at Su Yun curiously. Why did you come in? Murder. Su Yun said, what about you? Tion sighed helplessly. I drank too much and had some conflicts. I accidentally stabbed a guy into a vegetative state. I'm the most wronged. I was sentenced to 8 years. That's good. Su Yun said, 8 years is enough for you to reflect. Hee hee. Tion laughed dryly. He had only been in prison for a year. There were still 7 years to go. All right, where are you from? I'm from Kowloon City. Su Yun said, but you won't recognize me. I just arrived in Hong Kong and Macau not long ago. Tion was startled. He just arrived in Hong Kong and Macau and was already suspected of murder. He was really unlucky. He probably helped his boss to take care of things. You killed the person yourself? Yes. Su Yun's answer had always been very concise. Tion nodded. He thought that this guy was also a ruthless character. Unfortunately, this prison was full of ruthless characters. He couldn't cause any big waves. Who did you kill? Why do you have so many questions? Su Yun was a little impatient. This guy was buzzing and talking non-stop. He. Since there's nothing much, let's chat. Tion said, it's nothing. You've already done it. It's not a big deal to talk about it. This was not unreasonable. However, Su Yun had just come in and was observing the environment. He didn't want to talk too much nonsense. I killed Dakuan from Yao Jianwang district. Tion was speechless. He stared at Su Yun with his eyes wide open, as if he wanted to see if Su Yun was joking with him. His family was from Yao Jianwang district. He knew very well what kind of person Dakuan was. When he was imprisoned a year ago, it was the peak of Dakuan's rise. At that time, not to mention Yao Jianwang district, even in the entire Hong Kong and Macau, who wasn't afraid of Dakuan. It could even be said that Dakuan's influence at that time was even more powerful than the boss of Hong Dong Group, Wang Jinjin. Everyone in this prison, whether it was White Ghost or Old Wolf, even Cheng Dong, they couldn't be compared to Dakuan. Dakuan was an existence that was higher than them. You really know how to joke. Tion laughed dryly. If you don't want to talk about it, then forget it. I won't ask. Who's joking with you? Su Yun, do you think that our relationship is so close that we can joke about it? Su Yun, you asked, that's why I said it. Tion nodded nervously. He couldn't tell if this guy was telling the truth or not. He wanted to find his distant cousin to confirm this news. If this Su Yun was really the guy who killed Dakuan, then he was definitely the most dangerous person in this prison. What White Ghost or Old Wolf couldn't be compared to him at all. Tion swallowed a mouthful of saliva and didn't dare to call him brother anymore. Brother Yun, you're really powerful. Powerful my ass. Su Yun, if I were powerful, I wouldn't have come to this godforsaken place. Alright, if I want to get something from you but don't have money, can I buy it on credit? Buy it on credit? This word didn't exist in Tion's dictionary. Even if Cheng Dong came to find him, he wouldn't buy it on credit. However, facing Su Yun's current aura, Tion didn't refuse and nodded mechanically. Before confirming whether this guy was really the person who killed Dakuan, Tion really didn't dare to offend him. Chapter 2164. Su Yun smiled and said, all right, you're quite generous. Thank you. Even if I really owe you, I will find a way to compensate you after I get out. Don't worry, I'm never one to take advantage of others. No. It's okay. Tion said, then what do you need? What he was worried about now was that if he couldn't get what Su Yun wanted, it would be troublesome. If he wanted something like heroin, even if he had a big relationship, he couldn't get it. His biggest ability was daily necessities. Tobacco, alcohol, sugar, and tea were no problem at all. What are you nervous about? Su Yun was stunned. Don't worry. Even if I need it, it will never be something that will make you commit a crime. Moreover, I don't need anything now. When I need it, I will naturally look for you. Tion breathed a sigh of relief. It was good that he didn't ask him for those things. Really, if someone in this prison really asked him to get heroin, he really didn't have the ability to get it. Even if he could get it, his distant cousin wouldn't help him send it inside. That was a crime. A dignified prison guard would never do such a thing. The most excessive thing that Ation did in this prison was to help his cellmate find women. Even criminals had physiological needs. Therefore, women could be said to be the most extravagant thing for the people here. Generally, people who had such needs would find Ation at a high price. Ation would ask his distant cousin to find a way to hire a woman who was in the sex business to come to his door. He said that it was a couple's visit, but it was just for that little thing. The cost and price of this was very high. In the prison, only people with power and money could afford it. Ordinary people couldn't afford it at all. According to the rules, this kind of visit could only be done once a month, so even if there was a need, it could only be done once a month. Ation thought that maybe one day Su-Yun would also have a need in this regard. He would pay for it out of his own pocket. In that case, even if he was a ruthless person who dared to kill both Akuan, he wouldn't have any malice toward him. Among the three of them, Chung Dong has the most people, and White Ghost has the least power. Am I right? Su-Yun suddenly asked. Ation nodded his head. His eyesight was too fierce. That's right, the White Ghosts are indeed the weakest. Brother Yun, whose team are you going to join? Me. Join their team? Su-Yun glanced at Ation. Do you think I'm the kind of hooligan who would follow others? No. Ation shook his head vigorously, but if he didn't follow one of the three, he could only be like those poor worms. After all, he didn't have the ability to help these people buy things outside the prison. Moreover, there were only so many people in this prison. It was impossible for him to create a fourth force in such a big place. That was unrealistic. Brother Yun, what do you plan to do in the future? Ation asked. In the future? Su-Yun was startled. If he really planned to live in this place for a long time, he really had to think about it. Of course, I will bring my own people. Ation almost blurted out. He covered his mouth and said in a low voice, You want to be the boss? Why? Can't I? Su-Yun said, As long as I want to, I can do it. Who can do anything to me? This guy was too bold. He didn't even put the three bosses in his eyes. Ation was shocked by Su-Yun and couldn't say a word for a long time. I'm asking you, can't I? Su-Yun asked again. Yes. Definitely. Ation didn't dare to say anything. They were all people who weren't afraid of anything. They really didn't know the immensity of heaven and earth. Maybe this guy would make some noise in prison, and he would soon be subdued by the three bosses. At this time, a burly guy came to Ation's side and patted him on the shoulder. Bring me something. Bring what? When Ation heard that business was coming, he immediately smiled. He made a lot of money for his family by doing this small business in prison. The kind of cup used on the plane. The big guy said, the last one was broken. Brother, you're fierce. Ation said, it's only been a month, and you've broken two. Okay, don't talk nonsense. This time, get me a better quality one. The big guy said and gave 200 Hong Kong dollars to Ation. Remember, get a better quality one. Brother, with this money, you can only get the average one. If you want a better one, you need at least this much. Ation said and stretched out 5 fingers. A famous model's masterpiece is definitely worth the money, and it's dual use. There's also the 800, electric, and vocal. The burly guy snorted, don't try to trick me. 200 yuan is enough. No matter how good it is, if someone sees it, I'll lose even more money. It's not like I'm the only one using it. It's too expensive for so many people to use it. It's too wasteful. Ha ha ha, you're right. Brother, you're thoughtful. Ation said. Su-Yun looked at him with disdain. It's F*King disgusting. You want so many people to use it. I'm really speechless. These guys are so dirty that Su-Yun can't believe it. What are you looking at? Who are you looking at? The big guy saw Su Yun looking at him and stared at Su Yun fiercely. Do you not want to stay in prison anymore? Do you believe that I'll call a few brothers to cripple you here? In the face of this big guy's provocation, Su Yun didn't care at all. He looked away with disdain. He wouldn't easily fight with small characters here. It would lower his value. If he wanted to fight, he would deal with those big problems. Su Yun was very clear about the cost of fighting in prison. Basically, they would be locked up. It wasn't worth it to be locked up for fighting such a small character. When he came out, there wouldn't be any shocking effect. You're still not convinced? The big guy was about to make a move. Brother, calm down. It's fate that we're all locked up in the same place. Don't be so unfriendly. Tian saw and quickly pulled the big guy. How about this, brother? This time I'll get you a better quality one. I won't add money. I'll get you one at a loss, okay? Give me some face and forgive him this time. The big guy was satisfied when he heard this. Okay, Tian. I'll give you some face. I won't argue with this kid this time. But next time, he won't be so lucky. Humph. The guy spat and turned to leave. Su Yun didn't care about him at all. Tian heaved a sigh of relief. He kept the money and looked at Su Yun. This guy even dared to do Dakuan. Why didn't he respond to other people's provocation? Could it be that he was bragging? No, Tian had to get to the bottom of this matter. Otherwise, he really didn't know if he should contact Su Yun. Who's that guy with? Su Yun asked Tian after the big guy left. Tian was startled. He thought to himself, you don't even dare to talk back to him. Could it be that you want to argue with his boss? He's with Old Wolf. Tian said. Old Wolf may be thin and short, but he's agile and ruthless. He's definitely not someone to be trifled with. Brother Yun, I advise you not to make things difficult for them. Even if you're famous outside, you're in prison now. You have to think carefully before you do anything. Got it. Su Yun nodded. In that case, he would start with Old Wolf. Among these three people, he had to get rid of at least one of them first to gain a foothold. Now that Su Yun didn't have any underlings, it didn't matter. There were so many pitiful people who didn't have anyone to deal with. Adding them up, there were nearly 30 people. Su Yun treated it as doing good deeds and decided to deal with these guys today. At this time, the whistle sounded. The loudspeaker began to order all of them to return to their cells. The release time was over. They had half an hour to rest in the cell. Then, they were ready to have lunch together. Su Yun followed behind Tian and left the field. Along the way, many prisoners deliberately bumped into Su Yun and pushed him when they saw him. However, Su Yun didn't say a word and didn't respond. All of this was seen by Tian. Tian began to suspect that Su Yun was just a weakling who liked to brag. You're tuning in to the Narrate and Escape YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories.